Alright, what's up guys? It's Fun Sanctimere, and we back once more fucking again with some MSI watch along. This time we're watching two of the worst teams at MSI. So we got the Chong, was PSG versus EST. So I think it's, I don't know, one of them's like Vietnam or something, I think. Or Thailand or something. I really don't fucking know. And then the others, I don't know. Does it look Spanish? Mexico? Something? I don't know. Well, we'll be back when the champ select matters. And the games. Y'all know me. Hala Balubi Ajuji.
For a lot of the North American teams, it ended up being success looks like beating G2 because that's what
I don't know what the bands are supposed to look like. I just know Jose Dioro really good on Diego.
For Estral, success looks like beating PSG. Right? PSG has players that have had
Ackerman also pretty good support.
Like Maple, 3 former LPL players.
Maple supposedly not a washed mid laner, so
this Estral team already accomplished a lot domestically, but then I feel like success would be being
I don't think any of them
definitively better than PSG.
I think Woody was decent, but I honestly can't tell.
Yeah, especially since a lot of people came into the tournament with PSG as
first
a
pick.
team
Let's go.
Perhaps could challenge the bottom tiers of the LCS or the LEC. I think expectations have changed a little bit around the PSG over the last couple of days.
Alright. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, listen, Evelyn have. Oh god, I was gonna be like, yo, that Evelyn Lockett, like, oh my god. Yeah, I muted the champ select because honestly, I have no idea what I'm talking about with these two teams. And ladies, oh my god, I'm so tired. I wanna die.
We'll see. I don't expect either of these teams to want to opt in. I think the fact that they both picked strong laning 80 carries in Varus and Callista means that they can match up a little bit against each other.
Talia shits on my
bypass the lane phase for something like a hyper carry, and currently we don't see that.
There's always the question about what top lane is being picked as well. If you see something like a Rumble or Twisted Fate
Mama Africa, Papa Africa.
Just to put them behind, well,
your mom go Sky Orton boy.
Game by a level rather than through getting
Orton boy.
Locked in for PSG once again. They have a team fighting composition on the horizon. This is what PSG love to do. Estral, I wonder if we'll see support here. Could, of course, look to mid lane to try and answer that Talia.
Yeah, I would expect Cody to match with something right now. We saw his Ari already. If you look at what he was able to pull off domestically, he played, you know, probably every champion. I looked at his Games of Legends, and the number of champion icons was larger than pretty much any player I've seen. But the Nico here is actually, I think, a pretty intelligent flex pick. It could be played into the Talia. I think maybe more likely that's going to be Ackerman joining the Callista in the bot lane, but they get to hold that flex as long as they want.
Having watched Estral, I do think they're better when Ackerman is on more of a tanking gauge. Obviously, Nico does give you engage tools as well, especially with the Fate's Call, but I like to see him on something more like the Rel, the Nautilus, you know, someone who has a bit more beefiness when they go into the middle of the fight. We'll see, as you say, where that Nico goes. We've seen a lot of Kalista Nico lanes over the last few months, especially T1 bringing it out with Guma and Carrier. Tristana bound away by PSG, trying to pinch possibly
if Guma and Carrier do it,
Nautilus taken away by
I do find this meta really fascinating, actually, just because
I hate Carrier sometimes.
And I also
love
do
Carrier
G2
and I hate
for the lane
Carrier.
swapping. I know it happened first in the LPL, but G2, I think the fact that we saw T1 already basically practicing lane swaps in the play-in stage means that it's here to stay. And it just creates so many odd questions as you move into this phase of the draft, because you're wondering,
the main event,
the top lane pool.
I am so scared.
Different. We see another TF ban coming through right now.
Renekton Black be safe. Why are you so scared?
Flex as long as possible. So far, I do like what Estral's done with their draft.
For a while, I was on the side of I don't like lane swaps that much because you don't tend to see as much action, and the top lanes tend to be, you know, level 1 at minute 10. But I've decided I'm on the side of lane swaps now. I think it adds a lot of into the draft. Both teams have to be aware of it, and you start to see these intricacies in the game. You know, do you 2-wave stack? Do you 3-wave stack? Do you contest your own buff level 1? You have all of these little extra bits that hopefully we can start to break down as the games go on. Obviously, it might just be that everyone runs into a jungle and play 5v5s at level 1, and that's also interesting. So that's, you know,
I'll be
there's
honest,
a lot of different aspects to it, Jim.
I think we might be seeing a Udyr top, though.
Yeah. It doesn't surprise me too much.
To be fair, outside of Rumble, there's not much that's great interactive though.
Yeah, and they actually did play a good number of games. What we have here is 39 games on record for them.
Sorry.
What is this pick going to be?
Maple and Galio though.
I mean, I guess it could work.
So it's Galio support most likely. We have seen Galio mid, Galio top. Talia is likely to go mid, so then the Udyr top makes the most sense.
Rakan into Talia?
Sorry, obviously, Dofei is playing on Estral. Dofei played the Udyr top.
I mean, you can ult the easy,
I'm just...
Shit.
Nico support, A-Soul mid, more teamfight scaling, better bot lane bullying. I do think Betty winning with Varus Galio would actually now want to dodge the laning phase, so I do think this is going to be a swap game, because I think as soon as you play Galio support, that's a dive engage tool. That is going to get absolutely ran by Kalista, Nico, and lane, so we're going to be seeing them dodge at least the early laning phase.
Swap out of it, and I did know there was an Udyr player in this game, and I was right that the PSG top laner played a lot of Udyr. 17 games across the course of their season. It was his most played.
Let's go! When Udyr has the same play rate as Cassandra.
In time, Jatt. So we will see Azure on his
base. It can be fun to watch lower tier regions.
70% win rate on it during the PCS. On the other side, we'll see if Estro can go for that aggression. We heard Jose Diodo in the interview saying, against T1, we didn't really try to do anything special. We just played aggressive, we played our style, and hopefully that will work for them against PSG, who also played their style against FlyQuest. They went for the team fights, they went for later game, and they were able to match toe-for-toe in some of the best games I think we've had a play in so far.
I absolutely agree. I think the matchup that
Alright, so if Astrals plays super aggressive early, there's a chance to just steal the game. But I'll be honest, come 30 plus minutes, I think Astrals just win the game. I don't like, unless Cody gets, you know, guac, fuck, suck, duck, in the mid lane, I think A-Soul is good enough to just carry the game. Anyways, let's get into it.
Is A-Soul as well. Whether or not Maple can impact the map early on Talia, which is a pick he's found success with for years and years and years, could be the deciding factor in this game, because I feel like if Cody can actually, and more so the rest of Estral, avoid getting roamed on by Maple getting lane prior and moving to side lanes, I think they'd have a pretty good chance scaling up later on in this game.
I mean, you look at Aurelion Sol, you look at the team fight prowess that can come from a Renekton and a Maokai, the lockdown potential. Later on, Estral esports teamfights can be very strong. Lane swaps don't seem to be occurring as of yet, but as I say that, I see Betty and Woody moving through the mid lane. There was lines of scrimmage early, no deep wards from either team. Betty and Woody just trying to avoid any vision that could come from Estral. They're invading towards this red side, but back away after they don't see anyone. Ward in by PSG means that Jose Diodo will just back away to that bush.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as Udyr saw Renekton top lane, he went to recall, and they've done the swap. They also have a ward. I think they're potentially going to try and push Jose off of these Raptors. That's a great... Basically, you don't want to let him get this for free. I think they can move him off it. That's really going to push Jose down. Junjia is on Wukong, not getting pushed off his red buff in the first place. So this is a good lane swap start for PSG.
And it's another iteration, another change in how lane swaps can work. Because often you see the jungler going up for that invade. You're looking to steal away the Razor Beak, steal away the red. Instead, Junjia says, I'm just going to start on my red. I'm not going to look for a smite fight. Maokai very good at taking Razor Beaks with the Bramble Smash level 1, and we'll have our AD carry and our support move in. Zothé does manage to get 3 minions of this wave, but that's now stacked against him, so they can freeze it in the top lane.
I'm actually really curious to see if PSG decides to freeze that top lane. I think that was a mistake for Zothé to actually touch the wave, and he has to abandon that immediately. Once he abandons it, then they'd end up breaking the freeze, so moving through mid lane. But Maple sees it because of that incredibly valuable ward that they placed over at the Raptor pit, so actually a pretty strong start to the lane swap for PSG.
There was also the idea of, do you freeze, have your Varus freezing solo top lane, put Woody down towards the bottom lane to prep for what is likely to be a 3-wave, maybe a 2-wave crash, and bot can't quite see exactly how that minion waves. So it's a 3-wave crash. Azure's going to try and get level 2, manages to tick over. Udyr, he does have good wave clear, but will he be able to survive this?
I mean, honestly, getting level 2 is pretty big, because even if He wants to clear as many. It's all about getting experience to me. Get as much experience as you can. Then if you teleport back and you get level 3, then they wouldn't be able to dive you again. I think he's actually dead here.
Ackerman tanking it up. He's not. Still half HP.
Shot.
Zofe still only level 1. Azure just trying to get as much XP as possible. Zofe goes
He's
in. He's going to tank. He gets level 3. There's the stun on Jose. It's perfect for PSG Jose, though. An incredible twisted advance. He drops the tower aggro. Will Estro continue to look for this? Meanwhile, in the top lane, still Betty and Woody just pushing in. Azure looking for everything he can get out of it, but he can't quite survive. In the end, he does die. Survive for a much longer time than I think we expected.
But he's coming back and he's getting that wave right away because they took so long to dive. He got so much experience. They used so many resources. They won't be able to re-dive. That is really rough for Estro because not getting that first dive clean means they're not going to be able to shut the neuter down. You can see the fortification on this top lane turret. Even though they were free hitting it this entire time, they barely get that second play. And you can see a 2-level gap already opened up. I think that's the sneaky thing about these lane swaps is we can look at the gold and we're saying how well PSG is doing, and you could look up there and say, hey, they're down 100, 200 gold.
Hey, Jatt's 100% correct. The fact that they whiffed the dive, holy shit.
You look about 600 gold per level.
Udyr doesn't need much to be a god.
Depending on exactly where we are in the patch cycle, but Azure basically has a 600 gold lead just in terms of experience. Zofe has been able to get a few more CS, a couple. He might look for this plate. Steps forward, does have that demolish proc as well. He won't be able to get the plate as of yet. Meanwhile, Betty and Woody now going.
Udyr has 2 points in Frozen Chicken stance, Glacial Fortress or whatever.
Threat that is Kalista. They got to level 3 themselves, and now Woody
and he has a point in Illidan's protection, so
I've
been taking contest for Nectar now without proccing Ruthless Predator for bonus damage.
You can have gank threat against a ranged bot lane, so.
And I'm sure versus.
I think this to me is the acceptable form of lane.
No magic, it kind of sucks for the trading pattern because Udyr doesn't build damage.
Specific strategic
outside of the Doran's
It's to make sure that your melee support doesn't just have to twiddle their
2 levels up
for
on
3
Zoe.
minutes and then get dove at level 2. They're actually at level 3. Sure, they're still losing the lane a little bit now, but that wave's going to crash. They should be able to defend it and then pick it up once it crashes.
I think they should have just focused Woody instead of focused Buddy. They did.
No vision. Or no ward.
They threw the Tangle Barbs instead of the Pop Blossom. Not Pop Blossom, the Blooming Burst. I think they would have been fine.
Ginger looks for the gank. Elsewhere on the map, actually almost relatively even. A lead for Ginger in the jungle. He's been able to just farm up with Azure surviving in the bot lane while Jose Diodo was looking for that gank. Azure has a slight lead in the top lane, the XP about a level ahead, but what's the rest of the map? Relatively even between these two teams through 6 minutes.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have to watch to see if Maple can have any influence now that he's at level 6. I'd say Cody done very well in this lane already. This was one of the lane swaps where we actually didn't see many people just bypassing mid lane, messing up the wave state, and then moving on. So it could still be absolutely anyone's game despite that experience advantage we saw early. Level 6 versus level 4 now for the Neuter versus Renekton. But ultimately, I'm Team Dragon in the Dragon versus Grubs trade. Okay. So I would say that specific interaction, I would favor Estro.
About the Drake early is super boring.
Do you have a chant or anything for them?
For Team Dragon?
Yeah.
I haven't worked it that far.
Oh, Maple caught out. Falling Sky coming down as Cody takes the kill. Ackerman positioned it. Well, it's Ackerman takes the kill. Positioned himself well to land the Tangle Barbs. Maple did have the flash, but didn't have time to use it.
So, I
Maple
feel like
washed?
Maple's asking the same question I am right now. Why was he there? Why was Nico there? Because they just did a Dragon for Grubs trade. You're not contesting the Grubs.
Yep.
So, great roam. Insane play. That's amazing to be able to pick it up. Shane
told you Ackerman was a good sport.
Cody, but that is
well, I don't know anything about these regions. So.
Actually, that he's even there because he should just be reset. Maybe he's in mid lane to just decide if there's a lane swap, but he did not expect him to be through that part of the jungle, especially with all the prio they had. Udyr was up towards the Grubs. There was no logical reason for him to be there, but he was there and it pays off. What a great kill.
Zofe almost losing out to Azure here. Pops the Dominus just in time, but Ginger is waiting in the wings. Zofe can only stand and watch. Tries to slice, tries to dice, but even with the stun, he manages to escape. The Weaver's wall will block him up. He's dead now. PSG brought enough numbers, and Zofe burnt everything to try and get away.
Yeah, actually really cool what happened there. So the reason that he was even able to live in the first place is they were trying to give the kill over to Wukong just so they could generate more total gold, not necessarily so they could deny Udyr the gold because they wanted the kill plus assist. But then he's able to stall it out just a little bit. However, I feel like it ends up not mattering. Maple was there anyway. He gets a little bit of assist gold too. Actually ends up getting the kill, and they're still able to pick up plates afterwards.
It was also a good move from PSG.
I'll be honest, when jatt is on the cast, my analysis isn't really needed because this man is just an information god. And like the jatt perspective, the jatt stats, the quick stats, the bro, like.
Yeah, and
jatt and quick shot, bro, like legends.
The ramifications of that early lane swap.
I guess the analytical market.
Currently, the Udyr versus the Renekton, that's not going to matter in a bit.
Yeah.
Like, when you're level 12 versus level 11, Udyr versus Renekton, nobody cares. What it did allow, though, was Betty to make it to this stage.
Oh, Fate's Call, Nature's Grass, the clone blocks the butt fuck. Frozen Chicken stance into Turbo Lightning Wilding Claws. Oh, solo kill.
They get a couple more levels. Azure showing why he's such a competent player on
I mean, bro, it's Shin versus
yeah, maybe it's actually going to be the deciding factor in the game. You never know. If that can continue, if
Udyr
he
saw
frozen enough times, and if he can get enough side lane advantages to make the move first. This mid lane play, though, by Cody.
I think it's just Stardust harassment. He doesn't have enough mana really to do anything more. Does have the flash. Maple might look for the seismic shove.
Go for something.
If you burn flash, he burns flash. Probably worth it. Catch the Azir later, the Aurelion Soul later on, but for now, decides against it, you know?
Yeah, much ado about nothing. Cody was using his mana before the recall anyway. Gonna watch this solo kill one more time. So really, Renekton's just trying to get the wave in. He felt like he did enough work, and then I think just underestimated Udyr's damage for the Udyr main that we have in this tournament.
Yeah. It's also the risk of doing that when your jungler is showing bolt.
Yeah.
Because Azure knows that Maokai is bot lane, knows that he can.
So here's the big thing, right?
Jose Diodo shows up.
When Udyr goes Wilding Claws, I think it's what it's called, Wilding Claws. I don't know, the Q. Fucking the Volibear stance, right? And the thing is, he saw that Zofi built very early, was going very early Mercs, right? And you know, as an Udyr, your R is what you max anyways, right? So most Udyrs don't tend to take a Q early because, like, you know, half the time you don't need it. The second point in Odin's Protection or Blazing Stampede, actually really useful. But here, the fact that Wilding Claws from Renekton's a bruiser, never going to build any armor, basically just gets a free execute in trades, and literally instead of having to depend on Illidan because Renekton can easily just get away, Renekton can't dodge the Q. And by that I mean the Q just instantly pops, doing like 30% of Renekton's health for free every time it's up. So other than that, he's not building against it, so just a 1 point in Q actually gives him so much extra damage with the Sheen. And look, he already has Gauntlet. And this video is gonna shit on Renekton for, yeah, Renekton's behind. Renekton's not a good champion in this game.
That interrupt on the original ASO recall was so big because it actually buys this timer to push Snacker and Ackerman back into their turret and makes it more difficult for them to actually get control.
It's Snaker,
On Cody.
not Snacker.
Yeah, it's just trading health bars, trading mana bars, not really too much happening there. Azure and Zofe do both have TP.
I think it would have been such a cool name if his name was Snaker, but Snacker and Acker instead of Ackerman. Snacker and Acker. Snacker!
Estro to get 2 under their belts early on.
Yeah, so Cody's finally getting, looks like he's going to go back to base and be able to pick up
1-1-5 tanks.
His Rylai's and is currently saving his TP. I will say, though, that top lane is becoming a bigger issue as well. Here comes an engage. No flashes.
Flashing forward, Betty with the cleanse. Justice punch in. There's the double taunt. TP is now invested on either side. Bates call. But Ginger can't find more. Ackerman.
They're in there.
Goes forward once again. The falling star not enough to chunk out Maple.
So overall, I actually do really like them hard forcing here because basically, Cody teleported back to lane. Maple was already in lane, so the tempo disadvantage that he had to the Taliyah was erased with that 4v4 skirmish in the bot lane. But this is that inevitability right now of the Udyr. One full item completed to just a Caulfield's Warhammer. Unless they send help up, he's just going to keep extending this lead. There's no way to actually move him from that position. And he's got the threat of teleport.
I love
right
Jatt.
now, so
Jatt is my sex symbol. He is my icon.
Do you send Jose top? Do you try and
I mean, 100% honest.
Get the push out, maybe bring your AD carry.
I one day hope to have the casting ability of Medic and/or Captain Flowers, and the analytical prowess of Jatt or Quickshot. I feel like a caster duel like this, if we had this caster duel in Europe, the LEC would be so much more interesting. No hate on Vedius. Vedius is a great man, but Vedius is, you know,
is just so far behind the curve right now.
Vedius is nothing compared to the god of NA, aka Jatt. And Jatt's been literally in every part of the industry, which is kind of hilarious.
Unkillable for probably until about 30 minutes into this game.
There's a lot of weight on Cody's shoulders, really, to put the damage down, right?
Yeah, so look, the Maokai has no damage.
Exactly.
Renekton has no damage. Aso scales super well late game.
Was one of the first ones to bring it out.
And Nico's power spike is like now in at 2 items. After that, well, Nico's gonna start doing a lot of damage, but
especially when you have
Nico's gonna run behind an XP, so
giant Aso ult is gonna be pretty undodgeable, but we're definitely not there yet. I think it's gonna be about whether or not Estro can just buy time and hold this Udyr at base.
What the hell? They need to nerf lethality, bro.
They have tools on the rest of their champs to stop you from buying time. They have the Wukong going in with the Cyclone. They've got the Seismic Shove, Chain of Corruption. They've got the Galio Taunt. Like, how are you going to escape all of these tools? Especially when your flashes and your cleanses are down. Snacker, cleanse, still about quarter of the way off.
There we go.
Down. Good engage from Jose Dioda. That was gorgeous.
Ah, dude, like I'm so bricked. What the fuck, bro? Like, I'm sorry, but like, what the fuck was that? Jose Diodo is so fucking good at the game. Oh, and
these two teams just leashed by PSG. Ginger trying to get in here. The Nature's Grasp will stop him from getting any closer. Rift out secured for Estra.
Cody with the big Asol ultimate as well to be able to try and keep this mid prio. Really close game.
And the fact Asol didn't have to waste it
is a little bit indicative of the
that's Honey guys here.
About this game is actually how low the action has been thus far, considering both teams actually have so many trigger pulls, so many different ways to start fights. I think the lane swapping is definitely part of that, reducing the lethality early on in the game. But I think now
I didn't think this game would be so close.
Drake fights. We're going to see some pretty.
I thought PSG had a really bad start and Israel's
as well. It's relatively good scaling.
This is the land America, right? So this is
only 130 stacks so far. Usually about 20 minutes you're looking at 200, and then after that point at least 10 a minute. Looks like Cody
LLA would be Mexico, right?
On that as PSG step in.
And PCS is
the skies descend, not back with the seismic shove into the taunt, into the chase, the cyclone, a tempest for PSG as they find the enemy mid in the jungle.
Great pick by Maple there over the wall. Cody trying to contribute to that fight, but Maple just had so much push bot, was able to move in, get the seismic shove, and then just completely lock him down for the rest of that fight.
I don't know if LLA means Mexico or means
so huge because that was essentially
like the Caribbean and like actual Latin America, like Cuba and stuff like that.
I would take
I don't know how to watch this region. It's not English.
Bot lane, if it means their top lane has the 1400 gold advantage, that's usually a trade you would take. But
so here's my biggest problem, right? I would love watching like LS and Dom co-stream. I think the I don't know if it's the LLA, it's the CBLOL. Yeah, because I know the CBLOL is just in Portuguese because it's Brazil. It's the Brazilian league, right? But here my biggest problem is there's just so many leagues to watch and there's so much content and half the time they don't even watch the full games. They just give me like snippets. So I rather not.
3-3 is the score. About a 2,500 gold lead for PSG. We're dragging up in 40 seconds.
Udyr's relevance is gonna hold pretty strong.
Pressure just to try and make PSG have to react.
I think Wukong's best bet here is to go Sterk second. I know it doesn't seem like it, but there's no tank besides Maokai. So there's no point in building a Black Cleaver. You go Sterks here, and you guarantee having the HP to be able to do engage and
makes
stuff.
this an incredibly difficult contest.
At the Weaver's wall. Azure going
Okay,
in, the stun
beautiful
chain
bear
approaching down,
assault.
Ackerman is knocked back with the seismic shove. The base call though gets him out with a sliver of HP. Ackerman will be able to escape, but has to reset, and PSG will use that as the trigger.
That's a free dragon. That's a free dragon. That was amazing by Maple.
There, but I'm
Yeah.
not surprised that PSG.
Honestly, it's the rocket belt. Had Nico gone like Storm Surge or something else, Nico would be dead.
They actually, like, probably could have just taken the Drake based off of Prio, but they wanted to win that fight in mid lane as well. And now this is going to be the attempted counter by Estral. See if they can get this mid-turn.
Ackerman back on the map.
Well,
really
no charge
quickly.
means
Obviously can, you know, fly between the trees with that empowered gear he has in Attack on Titan, so it's very easy for him just to jump around. But he does have the Hex case as well, you know, so able to get out pretty quickly. No turret falling in the mid lane as of yet, though. Estro can basically breathe on this tower, just need a couple of auto attacks. Ginger trying to keep him away from it as Maple is getting pushed in the bot lane. Azure is here to join up. Betty was resetting, but he's on his way. Taking the Hex gates to get
as he's almost got...
The problem for Estral is you are sacrificing...
The biggest problem with going Koenig into a Soul Nico, and this is the only problem I have with this item, I love Koenig Rooker against champions that don't do true damage, but Asol does so much true damage that I feel like Fawn might have been a more respectful item because it's cheaper. It's like what? It's 100 or 200 gold cheaper, and it would allow you to get onto Snaker and Cody faster. But what do I know?
Like this, but they were also overgrouping and didn't even get the reward from the...
Hello, Fawn? I feel like Fawn is just rarely built. And because there's going to be a lot of magic taken during the team fight, you stack up Steadfast so well that it lowers the percentage of damage you're taking compared to having to survive the magic shield. No, the models on the Udyr, that's interesting. I go shield bash on Udyr, so...
And when you see Estral responding to that, then you push in mid. Estral currently struggling to get that pressure, partly because their top laner can't match the enemy top. Their mid laner can probably match Maple, but doesn't actually outpush him. So you can never actually gain prio in your side lanes to then group around mid.
Yeah, they're kind of relying on Jose Diodo's saplings to not die in their jungle. Like, that's how little vision they actually have. You can see the toggle right now.
I'm gonna log into RuneScape.
So it's very hard for
while we do this.
And I know a lot of times
I'll get some Nightmare Zone gains in while we're commentating.
Like, why are they not doing anything? Why are they just grouping? Because it's really hard to do anything when you can't see. And they also can't actually match anyone in the side lanes. Like, what happens now when Renekton goes bot to this Udyr is he's just stuck there. Like, he has to catch the wave. Even while he's catching the wave, he's probably going to lose some damage to his turret. Udyr can leave whenever the hell he wants and go threaten mid lane, which means mid lane can never play aggressive because Udyr is actually not on the map. And then as soon as Renekton shows on that wave, Talia, who's in the top lane, has just moved down as well. So, like, any time Estral wants to do something, there's a large threat that it's very, very bad for them. So they're just trapped in this cycle as PSG is kind of just waiting for the next Drake to spawn, keeping this pressure on.
Just trying to sneak away a jungle camp here or there whenever they can, denying vision as well, becoming the unknown, and that's the risk. That's the problem for Estral. PSG are the unknown right now. Can I step towards my blue buff? I have one control ward there. Is someone waiting around the corner in that second bush? Can I move towards the top lane? Currently, you can't see where Junjur is. You can just about see where Betty is. You know he's moved away from mid. You can't see where Woody is. You can't see where Maple is. The only person that you have vision on the map is Betty until we see Junjur on this control ward, but you couldn't step there because Betty was off vision. So how on earth do you ever react? As Estral, you just have to take the small bits you can get and hope a fight around an X-Drake, a fight around a neutral turns up in your favor.
Yeah, and even if it doesn't, PSG is going to be able to take these side turrets pretty procedurally. Maple has been taking notes on how to play the map And honestly, if you defy his orders, you're going to have a bad time. But the
I'm
team
gonna
is
look up what the
clearly
2019
together.
one was. Okay.
I'm sorry, we're done. We're done. We're done. For those of you who know what we're doing, I appreciate you. For everyone else, apologies. But the next Dragon is going to be in 1 minute. You can see as well, right after getting the objective, PSG is recalling, like, this is just a very experienced-looking team playing a very slow but steady type of League of Legends that is very effective. 4,000 gold lead without really generating any additional kills.
The Kalista's not going to do
and
any damage to the
just open
Udyr.
the gap against the LLA.
No?
And for
Sorry,
Cody, Jose Diodo, Ackerman, very
He's
experienced
going
with a driving force for them.
Stairs? Black Cleaver?
The LLA.
I mean, it's great. He'll be able to duel the Udyr, but the Udyr is so far ahead, it doesn't really matter.
And are so
The
good
Kalista being even with the lethality virus is really bad. She's supposed to have a lead.
Their team fighting and their setups.
Woody's honestly just there to give damage reduction against Ace. Yeah.
I say only, that's, you know,
that's what Shielded Duran does. It gives a shield and it gives magic damage reduction during the channel of the hero's entrance.
Just sack this next Drake and try and scale more. Cody only at 212 starter stacks, so maybe you just wait it out. You accept you're probably going to lose tier 2 top, but if you can hold the inhibitor line
to be
with
fair, Hextech Soul with the team that PSG has isn't really good. It's a lot better, I guess, on Estral, but it's a horrible soul for both these teams.
This is why, like, we ask
it's not a Mountain Soul, it's not a Hextech Soul, and it's not a Cloud Soul.
Finding some miracle engage, but like, he gets hit by one Varus Q, loses 2/3 of his health, and everybody on PSG can also just flash out of the ultimate. So it's just very hard. Like, in this current game state, you could replace these players with any players, honestly, and it's just so difficult for them to make a big play.
Just stifled out of the game. Maple putting
the Grey Weaver's wall.
Forward. Ackerman half HP. He dashes forward, looking for Azure, but this is just PSG chipping away at Estral. The goal is, you know, it's to kill people, but if you don't kill anyone, as long as you get a couple of people low enough, that you can just turn your eyes towards this dragon. That's exactly what PSG want to do.
Without Jose Diodo being in the right place and Ackerman having HP,
go towards the top side, get more vision, get more control wards, and start to play for that top lane.
It's like no engage.
My goodness. This is dominant.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's a lot of it comes back to Cody perhaps getting caught around that blue buff, and after that PSG just haven't given Estral the chance. Also, the retail taking mid-tier 1 was huge. Here goes Ackerman, who double flash away into the hero's entrance base, call out.
Okay, but there's no damage.
So far, but they still can't quite find the kill.
I mean, look, now they're in trouble.
Azure's on a huge flank shielded around, taunt going out as Ackerman.
Yeah, there's
Zope getting locked up as well as the Cyclone on the backline means that Snack has to flash the wall. Zope will fall, and you could see in Estro's eyes that small glimmer of hope immediately extinguished by PSG.
Oh, the Udyr coming in the back door there.
Udyr's almost 3 levels up.
Like I said, it was
almost 2 entire items ahead.
They got every flash out of PSG during that engagement, but it's going to cost them mid-tier 2. I thought it was actually going to cost them Baron as well, but they opt to just take the small victory and continue running their game. Like, let's watch this one more time. They see Betty Maple here. He is a minion. They move up a bit, and he actually catches both of them in the original stun, and they chain it with the Ace ultimate, but then, like, the rest of the team, just not enough damage to follow up, and the teleport in the back there with a 3,000 health Udyr, you're not killing that guy.
You're never going to kill him.
3,000 health Udyr,
but this is also one of the risks of being behind in a game like this, because you don't
barely broke the Koenig worker and shield. Kalista got like 1 or 2 attacks.
Control ward in the bush, there's a ward behind that control ward, which gives Azure
when Udyr does the most damage in a team fight, just because he pressed R, keep in mind, he's got a, doesn't even have a Doran's ring anymore, so he has no magic damage enhancers.
Around this top side, have already taken the other tier 2s on the map. This is the tempo play we talked about after the Dragon. It didn't materialize.
Agamen's level 10.
Yep, so 5
Ozzy's level 15.
Will fairly soon be 6 tiers to 0. I do weirdly feel for Cody's Asol in this game because it is so out of place with how the game is going. Asol is... I
feel like Cody should have just played Hoi.
But when they're losing every lane in the mid game, there just hasn't been a single
Also,
moment
I just feel like the
where he's been
Renekton was
able
pretty
to
dog
actually
shit.
have
Like, if you're gonna play
to
the
zone
Renekton
control
lane, you
a
need
fight.
to give
And even
Renekton
that
prio,
last
and
replay we just
Renekton
saw,
got no
like,
love.
He's trying to fly in
Then
and
you got
dive
lane swapped on,
with the
and
Izzle.
you got
It's just really
dumpster
hard to
in the
execute,
1v1
and PSG
multiple
is really kind of
times.
putting on a clinic here in game one.
So,
It's a small window for Estro. You mentioned it. All the flashes burnt on PSG.
I've never seen Estrels, so
very likely to stick. Estro might look for the play. Have no flashes of their own either, though, so it becomes a little trickier. Jose Diodo's flash.
to be fair, we saw PSG dismantle G2 like a year ago.
Forward. Snacker not yet with the team as Jose Diodo just absolutely Jose deleted by PSG. The jungler down.
Although, I do feel like they're still going to want to fight them. They have to just lean into the desperation right now and go.
You have Fate's Call Pop Blossom. Ginger taking a little bit of damage from the Baron, was buffed. Astral flied across by Cody as Ackerman looks to step forward.
Ginger's a damage dealer
With its control wall where he is
on the
right now.
Baron.
Ginger turns for the fight. Snacker's going to try and get away from this Udyr. Cody trading with Woody and Maple on the bottom side. But there's Cyclone immediately on the backline into the hero's entrance. Pop Blossom comes out.
There's no damage. There's absolutely no damage. And there's, as much as there's a bit of peel, there's just nothing to save.
Maple died. So there's a
yeah, they killed Maple, but
Maple's
not the win con.
Came down to pick off Maple, but
Ginger and Betty are.
I'd say another small
Actually, Aja's a win con more than Maple is.
is actually so unstoppable in this game.
Yeah, that's almost working
I'll
on
go back to
4
what I said, 20 minutes
items.
ago and redact it, please.
That's
that small
insane.
advantage has been a big advantage in the game, but it's more about the
see,
setup.
look.
Like the fact that he's consistently able to get on top of people like Snacker. He's just not letting him play the game. And yes, Maple does get picked at
If Frozen Heart plus Iceborne Gauntlet,
right? It's
literally unplayable for
And now we're
Taliyah.
just 32 seconds away from what would be Soul if PSG is able to pick it up.
It's going Death Stance? Okay, yeah, the Wukong's not going to be able to die to the Kalista. They understand that, like, Zolvi or whatever, and let's do any damage.
For Estro, sorry. They saw their small
Honestly, if Betty lands a bit of poke,
continues to extend.
Betty just lands a tiny bit of poke before a fight starts.
PSG will just deny
the fight's
all this
already
vision.
won.
Basically, no vision past the halfway mark of the map at all for Estral.
If they could just get one flank ward in so they could have any threat on the back line, but they can.
Alright, that's all. Now that adds a lot of damage to Udyr and Galio, who aren't building any damage.
To get the Cyclone down, but can't quite get onto the backline. This could be the fight for Estral. Can they turn it around? Ginger using the clone to get out of there.
Udyr's taking no damage yet. Renekton's
still chasing forward.
dead.
Pop Blossom lands on 2. Cody going in. The skies will descend, but Cody might go with them. Pops the stopwatch to buy himself a second stack.
Look at Ozzy just demolishing the entirety of the backline.
What went right for Estral in the fight? Everything went wrong in the end. PSG cleaned them up. Azure still has half his health bar.
Azure's just sitting on the, like,
what a performance
he just sat through
by PSG in
Snagger,
making it seem so hopeless for Estral this entire time. I don't actually think they win off of that fight, but they win off of that fight. They have Soul, they're going to be getting Baron. Betty is just taking his time up the mid lane. They're going to have their cake and eat it too, with Udyr and Taliyah shredding that Baron while Betty takes this turret. They are dominating in this game now.
Red team's turn.
For Estral, you're looking at game 2 now. How do you bounce back from this situation? Well, these
support Maokai. I don't think support junglers are good anymore.
Currently just more than their match.
I feel like it worked well with Rel.
Like we look at this draft at the very start as we watch this fight play through one more time, and it's just too big of a gold gap. Like Genjia's Wukong, you think he's low, but you look up and he's got an extra 1,200 health. Udyr's health bar never drops below half. Ackerman, like, yes, he flashes in, and you can see Cody just like desperately trying to fly over walls to like pull off these random 2-man executions, but at the end of the day, the 80 carry has an Udyr on him 85% of the time, and he's unable to actually lower his health bar.
The only misplay that PSG made or whatever is that Woody flashed into the execute from Maisol. But outside of that, it's going, instead of going Fawn, he's going Jack Show. So, like, literally Udyr's going to take negative damage from Kalista. And Kalista's like the only damage source that's actually threatening to the Udyr.
So that if they get stuck in these situations where
the Acel's not gonna ever have enough time to channel his Q, because the second he gets stunned by the Udyr,
but really at the end of the day, like if they
the Wukong and the Varus set to turn around, and then the dude dies.
They're not gonna have a chance in this series.
But it doesn't have time to finish his own,
The lane swap goes a little bit differently. If Azure doesn't get to soak up all that XP, if Zofe doesn't fall as far behind, maybe the game, as you say, would look a little bit different for now.
Yeah, if you're gonna play strong side top,
able to hit the same target at the same time, because Azure goes in, Ginger goes in, separates one person, Cody then flies forward, but you just don't have enough damage to work your way through PSG, who are beating you with their wallets right now. 11,000 gold the lead.
I think that's a good point you brought up, though, and yes, it was 30 minutes ago, but weirdly, the biggest moment in this game
by the way,
was the slow dive.
No, they picked Udyr in the Renekton,
so there were 4 people from
like,
Astral.
that's not supposed to be a great matchup for Renekton.
First time teleports back, picks up the rest
sorry, for Udyr. Yeah, 1 Q does half of Ackerman's health.
That's a lot of Varus damage.
Ackerman's
4.5 items.
Picked up the first couple of kills in this game, but since hasn't been able to have as much of an impact as they'd like. It's going to be triple inhibs for PSG. They're pushing in. Only cannon minions bolstering their attack right now. Estro trying to defend against it. Azure looking for that third inhib. Zofe takes half his health and then backs away to the fountain. Pop Blossom. Maple pops the stopwatch. Woody forced away, but the Hex Soul doing so much work here. You can see Cody trying to escape Hero's entrance in. PSG unrelenting. Will push through the Nexus towers. Estro one last bastion of defense, but they just can't find it. Zofe is kicked into the team. Will take down one, his first kill of the game. But in the end, it is PSG who will go 1-0 up in the series.
Really solid play.
Alright, game 2 of the set. Back in Champions Slide, boys.
Lane swap, Azure getting ahead.
Okay, thank God. Son of ban.
If that happens again,
will we see the dominance of the Udyr?
I'm not that hopeful for Astral. I think the way that PSG just demolished them is very demoralizing, but I'll also say that Jose Diodo and Cody have to play a very aggressive mid-jungle.
Agreed.
Maokai Asol is the opposite of that. I think they probably thought that they might be able to outscale them and rely on their mechanics, but they just got completely out-macroed. Bans haven't changed that much.
Jose Diodo got a really nice flash, but it's because Ackerman was so fucking strong.
In game 1, the bans for PSG were Lee Sin, Sejuani, Ashe. So 3 for 3 so far are exactly the same, even if the sides are different.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Cody going back onto his Ahri, just because it gives him a little bit more playmaking ability. Obviously,
there's slow mages that don't do anything for like 50 minutes.
Earlier game pressure.
It's not the current meta right now.
Obviously, Cody very comfortable.
You need to play.
Well, even sometimes brings out the.
If you want to do nothing mage, you really need to just play the Azir.
See where Zofe decides to lead them.
Because at least he's a playmaker.
As you say, and likely an Ashe.
The Tilly is great, even when she has no damage. She just has so much CC and so much anti-mobility that like.
I'm not a big fan of the Azir ban. I feel like you're denying it from Maple, but you could also just take it yourself. Yeah. But this is why they ban the Azir. They do the Talia takeaway, and if they're going to pair this Talia with a very aggressive jungler, like a Viego, even though you do need to see if you want to before you want to lock in the game.
No way that's a ban login.
In the sights for Jose Diodo.
See where PSG decide to go with their first couple of picks. Last time they looked for the Varus Talia. Obviously, Talia taken away. Varus wouldn't be too much of a surprise.
I mean, I think here you just take away like Varus Renato.
Very well. Gives you pressure in the lane as well. But
just take away like a tier 0 bot lane.
Go towards the Kalista because that is still up.
You don't need the Galio did like nothing last game.
Snacker very comfortable on that, so maybe see that instead. Ahri now locked in like PSG. Yeah.
I do like that pick for Maple.
I like it for Maple, but I don't like it into Talia.
Astral to play
really hard to play around
against him, especially once he's level 6.
But I mean,
very easily
if you time anything well,
from anything, so I think they just match bottom lane from here, and then they try and find the aggressive later.
Where do you go? I mean, you could go Xin for pressure in that lane, or you could go tank here.
This loses to Udyr though.
I'm gonna be honest here, Jatt. I don't think going tank here is the ideal.
No,
but they will go tank here, which means likely, possibly, a lane swap again. Just someone that can survive into the Varus on that side lane. And then maybe AD. I think AD, otherwise it's just going to get banned out, as you say.
Yeah, I mean, Kalista, if they want what they had last game, but okay, so they're dropping their AD to 4-5, even though Varus is already locked in.
To get this in. I mean, Zintalia, very powerful. Very strong together.
I mean, they don't ban the Udyr. Udyr comes here on 4 and walls Astrals.
And they're pinching it at the moment. So if either they're okay, this is the good thing for Astral. They're either
Jinja's Wukong wasn't bad, but it's just
or they're taking
I feel like the Udyr would have been such a bigger priority. They're just scared of it getting banned.
I was also scared for a second that PSG were just going to
they don't ban Udyr.
Kazakh's obviously very strong.
Astrals don't ban Udyr, like they just lose.
It's not great into the Talia. But it can give you a lot of damage.
I think that would be one of the best ways.
Damn about Zinzal, bro.
So, depending on whose side you're on, it's a disappointing her.
Now you just ban to it. Okay, yeah. So they banned the Udyr here. Thank God.
Please, but there's the Udyr. Kalista taken away by PSG. Expectation is double AD carry ban for PSG.
Yep.
Kalista Draven most likely.
Which is unfortunately.
And Astral, they've got rid of the Udyr. That makes sense. If they want to ban out another top lane, or if they want to get rid of something like the Nautilus, just to make sure you don't have to play into Varus Naught bot, that would also be fine.
I think your expected value with another top ban goes way down, just because there's so many different things you can pick. So I honestly don't know what Astral is going to be with this last pick. It is Rumble, so they're just taking off the tier list of the most played top laners for PSG throughout the season.
Good support as well, alongside the Varus. Gives you a lot of damage in that lane, so... It looks like actually a PS.
I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. I feel sad that my boy's been reduced. Ozzy's Renekton.
Very safe in the top lane for Azure.
Yeah, Tips amazing here.
I mean, lane swap.
Lane swap, medic.
Astro want to lane swap. PSG, Twisted Fate, if you put him behind, can struggle. Obviously, we have seen some Twisted Fates accepting the lane swap, going mid-level 1. Gold card into red card can really...
Gold card to blow a flash level 1?
Xayah Rakan pick. Xayah Rakan very good in a lane swap. Rakan struggles in the laning phase, but Xayah very good at pushing lanes. And obviously, Rakan, when he gets to 3 to 6, becomes a much more impactful champion.
Yep.
Yeah, and again, I feel like Astral has a very playable 5v5, but PSG isn't gonna want to let them ever 5v5. And I think that's one of the calling cards of the Twisted Fate top. Wasn't even trying. Just like it. But I would say that with how well PSG was able to play side lanes in game 1 with the Udyr, having the Twisted Fate is just an extension of that. It is even worse in team fights, I feel like, because there is very poor front line for them here, so they will have to play fights much differently, much sharper. But the overall concept of just really
I mean, mid to late game, if Snagger gets hit by the Renata ult, if he doesn't have cleanse, he probably kills his entire team.
Against the wall, lose this and you are
3 autos, but when your autos have piercing,
to the LLA,
that could be the end of the game.
World's a possibility, obviously.
The best thing to do is to ult.
The question is obviously first, can you make it back? Secondly, can you challenge now? Can you fight up against PSG? Maybe you find some early aggression. Maybe you find a way to stop PSG from just scaling up towards the team fights or towards this, slightly more pick-heavy composition they have right now. Because in game 1, they really weren't able to find any avenues into the matchup.
Yeah, I agree. And we talked a bit in game 1 about what success looks like for these teams at MSI, because I don't think it's a realistic expectation to think Astral or even PSG is going to come in and beat BLG and beat Gen G and hoist the MSI trophy. But I will say, for Astral fans, they and I hope this is not how they go out. They need to have...
Yeah, if Astrals go out here, then, well...
They had
it's going to be a really bad show.
Everyone in their group of
or like a really bad first impression.
They're the ones that had to play T1 right off the bat, right?
So challenging.
Insanely tall task. But I'd say in that game, like, that's the type of loss that the fans can live with. They showed aggression, they found multiple different angles to fight, and there were windows. All of those windows were locked shut by PSG in the last game, and it didn't look like they were willing to go in for fights. So here, I think Jose Diodo being on Xin Zhao instead of Maokai is going to give him way more agency to try and do things. Cody, the young star for this team, is on Talia, more playmaking than he had on the Ace Hole. Even if they go
I want them to push a game 3.
They want to go out swinging.
I would love them to push a
Especially
game
since
3.
You are an organization that hasn't been on the international stage before. Replacing someone like Rainbow 7, Azure. Charm hits, there's the stun card, CC, follow-up, Cody gets the time to flash out though. Manages to escape, does have to burn his flash for it.
But Maple had to skill Charm level 1.
True.
And it looks like Cody is going to try and stick around in lane, knowing that Maple has Charm level 1, isn't going to be able to push the lane first. It's actually okay. It looked like it could have been a disaster, but as of now, it's okay. And also, the lane swap hasn't happened yet, so it's just going to be straight-up lanes, which, again, it's kind of more drafted for. There's not a massive advantage for one team during the laning phase. You could even argue PSG is happier with standard lanes because they have range versus melee top lane, and they have the Renata Varus, which should win, so no lane swap today.
So this game...
didn't initiate it. Get the TF behind.
They have to have Zolti.
Even if you're just denying him gold. Remember, gold is not multiplicative on TF, but every CS you get, you almost get, I think, an average of 4 extra gold, which just means that every time, even if you're going even in lane in terms of creep score, you are getting an advantage on the Twisted Fate. But Estro deciding against it for now.
And I 100% respect that decision, because Estro has lost every lane swap game they've been a part of.
They've also lost every game.
And so, switch it up, man.
Okay.
They played the whole regular season no lane swaps. They played for 5 years with no lane swaps. Let's just have a good old-fashioned game of League of Legends.
Let's see if they can, in a good old-fashioned game of League of Legends, challenge PSG here. As I was saying before, we saw the charm in the mid lane. Estral taking Rainbow 7's spot from last year. Rainbow 7 were able to make it past this round into the next one. I think by beating out Gam, if I recall correctly. Is Cody charmed again? No flash. Where are you going, Cody? Can Jose Diodo get there in time? His jungler's nowhere near. Chat did go for an invade on this bottom side of the map. Ginger will be spotted on this ward. Jose Diodo going to steal the blue, maybe, while the wolves are taken by Ginger. In fact, might just look.
Yeah, he really wants it.
TP in as well by Cody.
The fact that he didn't show is making PSG rather suspicious as well. I think he really wanted the counter jungle there. Great charms by Maple, honestly. Just 2 for 2. The level 1 charge to burn the flash. This charm to get the kill. Really going to put Cody in a tough spot. Cody teleported back, trying to shove in the wave right away. But the fact that Cody died also delayed greatly Jose Diodo's efficiency. He couldn't counter jungle a single camp there. And it's also going to push him away from his bot lane, which was really wanted to play aggressive as well. So it's a bit of a disaster having Cody die there.
It really is. And even if he does die, maybe you just Jose Diodo just has to accept it and stay on the wolves, stay on the blue, and just take away those camps. Yeah. It's always hard in the moment because Cody was saying, oh, maybe you can save me, maybe we can turn this, but it can be difficult to make those calls and leave your teammates out to dry. My friend Roxas says, drop the inters. Sometimes that's the play that you have to make. More apt in solo queue than in a competitive 5v5 environment, I think.
Yeah, not when you're
I mean,
the superstar. Yeah, it's hard to say that about pretty much anybody. You can have Faker on his team.
Cody still no flash charm from Maple. And this is the cost of burning your summoner at level 1. 2 deaths now on the Estral Esports mid laner.
International Maple, man. Like, he's not missing that charm.
Interesting roam by Ackerman, trying to get up here. You can see the Ghost was immediately popped by Azure to get away. I like the idea with Jose Diodo collapsing as well. You have a small window as Ackerman to reset and come across with Snacker down in the bottom and able to push that in, but not really going to materialize into anything apart from a 1.3k gold lead for PSG early on here.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that would be a little bit positive for Estral is that both kills didn't go to Maple. So in the direct 1-1, because it's so bad what's actually happened in the mid lane. It's so good for PSG because Janjia on his Wukong once again is going to be so threatening for Talia and even Xayah in team fights. The TF is undisturbed in the top lane, able to push in, soon is going to be able to get plates. And more importantly, Jose Diodo is just way behind the curve. And like when this team is cooking, Jose Diodo's at the front, and with his experience disadvantage as well as not having 2 kills, like almost all the gold differences on the Wukong versus the Xin Zhao.
Jinjo on his 3rd most played champ across the course of his career, about a 70% win rate on it, so I'm sure he's quite happy to get that early tunneler. Ghost used by Betty in the bot lane.
Early tunneler is so much combat prowess, it's kind of stupid.
Snackerman bot lane. You know,
Snackerman.
Clever. You have to get that in because this might be their last game.
Yeah, it might be. Might be a while until we see them again on the international stage. But
I want to see them find a way to put up a fight here because PSG has jumped out to such a good early game. And this is such an uncontestable Drake. They need to just be able to accept these losses, even though it feels bad because they were so unable to pull the trigger in game 1. They've fallen behind early here in game 2. But now I'm just like looking at the way, like if PSG can play their game.
Good knock up. Cleanse out from
No
Snacker,
ghost.
looking for Betty. No flash, no ghost, no hope of surviving as Betty will fall. Snacker takes the kill. Estral Esports, you wanted them to find something. It seems like it's through bot lane.
And that's actually the only place it could have been. That was so.
That was the best place to put the money because, well, Cody so far behind doesn't have any damage. And Cassante ain't doing any damage.
They couldn't do it mid lane. TF had just returned to top lane after already hovering down for the Drake. Like, that was their one window to get anything to happen. Oh, that was just so well done.
They had vision on the Drake as well, so
it's an odd hit Varus, so it's going to be a lot harder to kill the Varus
and now with your Estral,
than expected.
Get onto Betty.
Because normally with Vivaldi Varus, right, after the Q, you're not really a champion. But on his Varus, they can just kind of sit there like bam, 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 bam. Once again, it's like, you know.
So still a Drake down, still 2 kills down in the mid lane, but a little bit of reprieve in that bottom lane. That's where they're going to have to play through. It's so tricky. Basically, Jose Giotto is just up there so that Cassante can get the wave in, but he isn't even able to get the whole wave in before the recall happens. He wants something with this Ghost.
Azure still has no Ghost, all out in, but Ginger's on his way across. Azure just baiting for his jungler. Cyclone Zothe with a good double dash away, but he can't escape Ginger's flash. He takes his 3rd kill of the game. All the kills for PSG sitting on the jungler's shoulders.
Yeah. Wukong's going to be a problem. He's definitely taken over this game. So,
yeah,
Jose, you're level 5. You can't do much right now. If we're going full solo queue jungler, as you were mentioning, like, you clear all those camps as best you can, you run back out bottom lane, and you fight. That's the only thing you're going to be able to do. You're hoping that maybe, you're just hoping the Twisted Fate isn't also there randomly, because he totally could be with his ultimate now post level 6, but that's your win condition at the moment. It's Snacker, because everybody else is falling too far behind.
And it's really before Woody gets to 6. He's about to tick over to level 5. Betty just has the Chain of Corruption right now. If you can get, I mean, Ackerman doesn't even need 6 for a dive to happen, but if Woody is 6, dives become a lot trickier. The hostile takeover, very good at disengaging a dive, very good at just delaying for long enough that you start to just take all of your health from the tower shots.
I mean, they could be going for it now. Like, I'd love to see the Talia just fog into the river right now after this wave, push this in as quickly as possible, and then just posture a dive. Like, this is the time where maybe they could deny a wave, but they're second-guessing themselves. They're calling it off. They even see Twisted Fate top lane. Like, yes, Wukong is missing, has been missing, but they let them catch that whole wave. Now they're able to get the ward down.
So I think the call
I wanted to see him go for it there.
100% agree with you, Jatt. I think the call is instead contest one of the buffs. Like, contest the buff, contest the Gromp.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't quite know where Ginger was resetting through. The charm's going to land in the mid lane, but Jose Diodo steps away again. Ginger going in onto Jose might just burn his flash across the wall here. And now everything we wanted to happen becomes so much more difficult for Estral. You don't have the flash.
Sunlit Sky to Caulfield's Ruby Crystal. It feels so bad.
On the international stage. They're tiny. They're like those little ones you get in the bathroom, right?
Yeah.
It's not a full 6-meter window where you can look out on someone's patio. Instead, you need to find the smallest window and then just defenestrate your opposition through it.
Unable to do it there. I like the analogy. Honestly, my brain just went deep into windows, and I found nothing good. I was going to talk about, like, oh, there's a really big window in our room at the hotel.
Small windows, like, you know, a Millennium or Windows 7, not one that people really like to use anymore.
And it's closed. Like, honestly, it feels closed for Astral right now. The window is locked. You could see through it, though, which gave them that brief moment of hope.
Bit by bit, it's becoming more stained glass, stained by their
still
blood.
not level
as the
6.
engage happens. There's the quickness. They're looking at the kill onto Woody. They get him. Snacker pops the ultimate to escape. Woody full Cyclone though. Out from Ginger means Snacker will be the first of the Estral Esports bot lane to go down. Red buff doesn't matter. Maple's here, and he'll happily accept his first kill of the game.
Oh man, so PSG just making Astral feel bad about all the good things they're doing.
Yep.
They had the
They're putting the money on the Xayah, but nothing else is going right for them.
2v4, they both die. They lose an entire wave to the turret once again, and Janjia just gets more and more fed. They're going for it though. Jose's top.
Jose trying to run in here. Gets onto Azure, stun card. There's a hostile takeover. Jose has to step back, still goes berserk, as Woody here in time to protect his top.
So they definitely are making several visits up to this Cassante, and this fight's not over.
Flash heal still available for Woody. He uses them both to dodge away from Ackerman. Ginger will decoy his way back. Jose Diodo looking for more as the bailout comes out. There's the Destiny as well, just a vision in the bush. Ginger gets one. He's looking for two as Ackerman has to dash the wall. Destiny forward by Asher.
That little crow's got him.
That's embarrassing.
That was not good for Estral. And I think if we could just soundbite what Jatt sounded like during that as Maple looks for another. Betty takes it with the piercing arrow.
It was really that's what
that was a jump scare. That was a jump scare.
I think PSG is really close to sealing the deal here. They're going to deny the grubs from Astral. It's going to be 3-3. They don't have
PSG
any good
came to
team
play
fight
today,
structure in
and
terms of front line, back line, but they're really not going to need it. They're 4,000 gold ahead. The Wukong can one-shot pretty much anybody.
No experience. So.
I broke you with that. That's amazing.
Really did. That was not expecting that. As we see, like, Snacker and Ackerman are doing exactly what they need to in this situation. Just everywhere else is so far behind that they don't have the support to do it, right? You had a little bit of vision in the river, but Maple's able to roam from mid first. Junju is there first on the Wukong, and even if you're winning the 2v2, it doesn't matter in the end.
Yeah, and what ends up happening here is like, a lot of times junglers will just kind of auto path top lane because they think that's where they're able to get a little bit of gold when nothing as good is happening. But it's a ghost flash TF. Like, that guy's actually so hard to gank when they don't have any reasonable lockdown. And then because they move up their strongest member, Snacker here, they think they have a chance of turning it around. But it's so tricky with all these control wards in the bushes and the angles that they're having to fight on. I love the Twisted Fate ult just for a little bit of extra vision. And then Ackerman just pisses off the grubs, man. And they finish the deal with that last auto.
It's a full Timon and Pumbaa.
Yeah, just a little bit more to the side when you fly over that wall.
Before, like, it's an item difference in fights like that. And
it is.
It's a struggle to say, because how do you come back from this position? We saw in game one how good PSG are at closing out from this spot. But if Junja doesn't have Sundered Sky and doesn't get the auto attacks off, healing himself in a fight, the extra crits, maybe it goes in Estrel's favor, but he does, because he's 6-0 now, has a 600 gold bounty on his head, and maybe Estrel can go Django Fett and look for some bounties, but on May the 4th, currently, everything seems to be coming up PSG.
Nice. Oh, it is May the 4th. Wow.
I also think for PSG, this is a
crazy that the Latin American team is getting it.
That rematch against FlyQuest.
It would have been so ironic for the Latin American team to get eliminated tomorrow because it's the Day of the Dead, Cinco de Mayo.
Because they won game one against FlyQuest.
That would have been like ultimate
series. I feel like they really want this rematch. Coming into this series, I actually really did think it was going to be a lot closer, but they're just putting on an absolute masterclass here in terms of how to remove opportunities from the other team. Like, I feel like they haven't even necessarily like had that many hands-diffy fights. They've just been in the right position so often that the fight kind of wins itself.
They punished really well as well. Game one, they punished the fact that Azure was able to get that experience lead. Game two, they punished the fact that Cody didn't have flash, and because of that, he was 2 kills behind. And then they punished the fact that Ackerman and Snacker are the only ones that can look for plays. They're just very good at seeing the enemy's weaknesses, seeing the windows in their defense, and then cracking through them. And right now, they're looking to crack through this mid-tier 1 as well. They have the Rift Herald charging in. Shelly will lend a helping hand. Just look for 2 charges. You might as well. Like, you still know Cody is bot lane. Oh, he's going top.
He's going top.
Dun, dun. Oh, come on, man.
You know, before that, I was going to give him player of the game. Now he's lost
longer.
it. Yeah. Can't even drive.
Oh, Zofe. Yeah, just walks away. Destiny was popped by Azure, TP in by Cody, so it's a summoner for nothing. Weaver's wall out as Cody looks for the collapse here onto Betty. We'll be able to knock him back, but there's the hostile takeover. Whoa. And Cody just TP'd into his death. Zofe next on the menu as Ginger goes godlike. Not the MVP of the game, according to Jatt, everyone. Tweet at him, at esports Jatt, if you think that's a mistake. Maple coming in from the side, doesn't want to go for the charm as Ackerman just dashes across the wall. 10 kills to 2. A 7,000 gold lead for PSG at 15 minutes, and this one is all done, but the Nexus is falling.
Yeah, even more decisive than in game one. Wow, look at that landing quantity snapshot. 2,200 gold for Junjia at 15 minutes. It's like taking the heart out of Astral, because even against T1, we're thinking like, man, Jose Dioto's playing so well. Like their jungle support synergy is so strong. They haven't been able to link up once with how dominant PSG has been here. And sure, they think they can get Betty here. They even land the CC onto him, but the damage is just so immense.
And the ability for PSG to disengage as well. We talked a little bit about the hostile takeover into engage comps. It's so powerful. Alongside that, you have the bailout. You have Junja going onto the back line. You don't have the damage if it's just Cody. He's got a Seraph, so it's not even fully stacked. Right? That's all he's got. Maybe if Snacker's there, you can burst down one, but then is the bailout enough just to save that player?
Is there any space between 100% and where that red is?
I can see a pixel.
Okay.
Not a good movie, but a good thing to have on your computer.
You got a lot today.
When a game goes to this spot, I feel like, you know, people can cheer, people can naboo, but... in the end, Estral showed us a lot.
I just hope that Gam is gonna choke a bit less than
PSG being so
EST.
good at just shutting them down and not taking the fights, which
it's
is
not looking good.
They thrive when it's a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, Gam's got like a loser's roster, so I think Loud's just gonna turbo smurf their
We'll
ass.
always be in a position where we can overload that fight. We'll always be in a position where we outnumber you in that fight.
You're absolutely right. There's just no messing around for PSG in this one.
Here goes Ackerman. The Weaver's wall coming in as well. Collapse onto Ginger. Hostile takeover is going to hit onto two, though. Only Snacker not connected. Cody trying to get away. Does have the flash, but doesn't even use it. Ginger goes legendary. And, yeah, PSG now looking to collapse once again. Oh, the charm. Maple on fire this game. The Feather Storm. Almost enough to take out Betty alongside the help of the tower. Crescent Guard from Jose Dioto with the Destiny coming in. The chase continues. Azure flashes forward. And Snacker meets his maker. A double for Azure. PSG get all 5 out alive. And Zope just wasn't able to join the fight.
They are here to end this series and knock Astral out of MSI 2024. I'd say, if I think about the reason my expectations were thinking this series is going to be close is I looked at the way Astral played against T1, and I think T1 was just really just having fun with it and fighting, and we got to have that hands check, and we know that Astral could stick with them, but here PSG, knowing it's an elimination game, has just been so locked in the entire time, not taking unnecessary risks, but also taking risks when they need to. Like, they could easily
I love it when my jungler, so, you know, like, when I'm playing a super carry, right, and my tank doesn't want to tank.
Twisted Fate and Udyr here from PSG, and everything is clicking for PSG.
Hey, Gazante's done, no, like, he's done like 500 damage this game.
PSG just in the ascendancy. And now
it's a little crazy, but you know, it is what it is.
Asking each other if they just want to pad out their stats. Like, do we want to pad me? Do we want to pad you?
I could tell from the tone of your voice you were going somewhere with it.
Yeah.
You need to be sneakier next time.
Well, that one wasn't a good.
I'm surprised there's no static shiv anymore. Is the like the 5 AD or like the 100 gold difference really bad?
We need to try and
I get it, Kraken's a great item.
The only hope they have is PSG get a little greedy.
I guess wave clear is never an issue.
They take a fight maybe under the next hours.
Yeah, the longer the wave lasts, I guess, the more the TF has opportunities to shit on Gazante.
But PSG are just so far ahead. Maybe actually a collapse. While PSG are a little bit mismatched, but the TP is going to come in immediately by Maple.
Looks
the
like
dive forward, all out from Zote. Catches Betty away, but Junjo on the back line just keeping the rest of Estral from anywhere near this fight. There's 2 already, make it 3 for PSG. Junjo still has full HP, and PSG begin to collapse. You can see what Estral were thinking, but in the end, PSG very willing to take the battle. Feathers fly, Azure dodges them, and Cody is the last man to fall.
I think it was a good look, actually. They got a lot of damage onto Betty. If Maple didn't go over to help Betty, I think the Cassante would have been able to secure that kill, but now they can have their cake and eat it too. They get the
I'm literally just recording a genocide, like
16,000 gold lead at 20 minutes.
This
it's
is
one of
sad.
the largest 20-minute gold leads you're ever going to see, actually. It's going to be right in that top percentile, so I think potentially
it's almost more embarrassing than FlyQuest losing in like 17 minutes.
To face FlyQuest tomorrow.
Yeah, and that will be a rematch, obviously, of the series earlier. First game very close between PSG and FlyQuest. After that, FlyQuest started to take the lead, and you can see what they're thinking.
All right.
Maple isn't here. Maybe we can just catch someone. Zothé all-outs Betty away, and I think Zothé does win that 1v1 if the fight continues down there.
But Maple and Woody both move down to Peel. Then, because Janji is such an absolute monster on Wukong, he just takes care of everybody else by himself. And then at the very end, Twisted Fate can just ult in, get a little bit of extra CC, and complete the ace.
And now PSG with the Baron in to push in. This Red Bull Baron power play, only 1.5k, the gold you get from taking it right now, but the tower's sure to be forfeit relatively soon. Maple spots Ackerman, and this is the other thing, like PSG don't give you the opportunity. They don't give you the chance. They're stepping into those side bushes, putting the control wards down, Ackerman's forced away, and Cody just dies because they were looking for a play, but they can't find it. Zothé under the tower, Cyclone's not going to get the knockup as he manages to dodge away. Ginger looking for the second, but doesn't want to dive those Nexus turrets yet. Inhibitor tower and the inhib in the mid lane gone. Bot lane the next target for PSG. And they are doing it by the numbers here. Ackerman, no quickness. Snacker, no Featherstorm. And Estro, no hope really of winning out this game.
Statement game here from PSG. Even going back to the draft phase, right? Like just everything they've done, the risks they've made this series have all paid off extremely well, getting stronger throughout, just waiting for this next wave to arrive before I think they're going to just kill that next turret or the remainder of Astral if Astral tries to stop them.
Well, Cody's back up. There's the charm into the hostile takeover, and Betty immediately kills off Zothé. Cody's trying to join the break. Crescent Guard from Jose Diodo will get him back to the fountain, but now the cannon minions in the mid lane are doubling up on that Nexus target. Ginger just slaps down Snacker. He will fall for it. A consolation prize for Estral Esports as they will fall at the hands of PSG. The PCS once again will make it through to the next round, continue the tradition of being one of the best minor regions as they face FlyQuest tomorrow.
Going to be a very competitive series, I think. Really putting the smackdown to Astral. A disappointing end for the LLA here. They definitely showed some potential against T1.
I'm gonna pause here.
Ended up not
we'll be back with Loud versus Gam in
controlled the map in
maybe 5-10 minutes.
And then I think really
Alright, we are back for Loud versus Gam. Sorry.
Organization as well. Reminds me a lot of Ramon. That sort of same energy, you know, just infectiously optimistic. And that's what Gam will have to be coming into this series. Obviously, replaced 3 of their players going into the BCS playoffs. And we saw them struggle against Fnatic. And Loud, they look pretty good, I'll be honest, against top esports, right? Like obviously they lost, and it was pretty convincing in the end, but they were able to find skirmishes and find fights that even got them praise, I think, from 369.
For sure, and I feel like this series has more unknowns to me than most series because I'd say
I know Route
got their
is really good and Robo's a god. Route's really good on Senna, so
was by like over grouping. And
I know while it's a Senna game, I think this guy's gonna make it interesting.
But then
for
also
us.
like the way Fnatic demolished Gam was a lot through team play and playing side lanes properly.
Hey, watching boring Senna games.
I do agree with
well, it's just, they're boring in general, but
like,
you know,
how they choose to approach the game is very unknown for me. Like,
I hope these motherfuckers can make shit
play
interesting.
what they're comfortable with and like mob around the map and start fights, or do they see like?
Because we're probably getting only 2 games
this
today.
Gam team might be really disorganized. Let's play like smart and reserved and macro. Like I just don't know what we're gonna see, but I'm hoping that it's just gonna be that head-smashing team fights that are most exciting.
I'll be honest, I love me a bit of macro League of Legends, but after 2 games of it, I would like some more fighting in the early game at least. Senna locked in here for Loud to kick off. Root undefeated on that across the course of the CBLOL so far this year. Rumbleby and Kalista their bans, Varus, Lucian and Jax the bans by Gam, and they will lock in Talia Tristana to kick us off.
Tristana was a big pick for them in that first series. They wanted it to flex, but now it's like with the Talia, it could actually still be a flex. You can move Talia to jungle, Tristana to mid, Tristana also to bot lane if you want to. So a little bit of flexibility still. They want to keep it open with that pick. And honestly, I feel like with the way this team has been drafting, they're just going to be picking Tristana every game that is up.
Yeah, seems like it. Easy Love did not play it during the CB lull, but we have seen it a couple of times already by Emo here at MSI. We'll see if Easy Love decides to pick it. And it does, if you pick it in the AD carry role, tends to be a more aggressive lane. You want to be jumping in. You want to be trying to get that explosive charge reset so you can then jump around the fight a little bit more. Senna Nautilus is what they'll have to deal with in the bot lane. Azir locked in for Tinnos, who is having a superb MSI so far. I mean, Tinno's often, when you get to the international stage, is the shining light for the CB LoL and continues to be a great carry in the mid lane for Loud.
Yeah, lots of international experience for Loud, so they can definitely move on from this stage in the bracket. They have done that in the past. To them, they need to make sure they're not looking past GAM before trying to actually advance to the bracket stage, but they're 1, 2, 3 in the draft. Like, no one's going to be unhappy with that. Senna Nautilus, one of the most dominant AD carry support, mainly because unlike other Senna lanes that just kind of need to stay bottom lane, like the Senna can actually move wherever she wants to, and once the Nautilus has 3 points in E, becomes this like undivable tank under the turret. So it's just such a flexible duo in the way that they can actually play the map, and then it's still strong scaling. Like it's a little bit of an overpowered combo, so people are going to be really happy that they have that early.
Senna Naut, Senna Tom Kench, the ones we tend to see. Nautilus has a little bit more CC. Twisted Fate and Kasante banned away by Loud. Olaf and Poppy.
That's a very interesting bot lane.
Gam, they'll lock in the Renekton,
okay,
saving their last pick for either AD carry or jungle.
Yeah.
I wonder what we will see from them, whether Levi will be put onto something a little bit more aggressive. Does like the Lee Sin, and with the Poppy ban, obviously as good into Rakan and into Renekton and into Tristana, but maybe we see a Lee Sin last pick here, and Tristana flexes down into that AD carry role.
Yeah, I'd like to see, I mean, honestly, whatever you're comfortable with, the Sejuani doesn't have the pairs at the moment. There's no melee mid laner that makes Sejuani particularly powerful at the moment, so Lee Sin makes sense. Second most played.
But Loud agree, and they'll take it away. Croc will be on the Lee Sin now, looking towards top. If you want to go for a lane swap, you can go for something like the Ornn. Just put Robo on a tank.
Team fight.
It's so strong, isn't it? You already look at that Loud comp. If Root is able to stack up well on the Senna, you are so powerful when you get to those mid to late game team fights.
Yeah, you have to be a little bit careful in the early game with Azir Ornn, but if you make it through to even mid game, your team fighting just becomes so dominant. So really, I think Loud is definitely playing this a little, I'd say a little conservatively with the Ornn, not trying to take a more aggressive thing in the top lane, especially because Kiaya is one of the strengths of this GAM roster. So I think Levi and Kiaya are going to try and play like really top side, and maybe Emo can contribute later, and it's going to be about Robo just holding on early game, because I think if he does, Loud has a much better scaling team comp.
Totally agree with you there. If we were in the earlier portion of 2024, have you heard of a lane swap, Jatt? Why would you ever play top lane if you can just put Ornn bot lane by himself and let the Senna stack for free in a side lane?
You think they're going to lane swap?
I think it's possible.
Oh, yes, I agree. It is possible.
I just like trying to be excited about them, you know? I think a lane swap could work. You get yourself away from the bot lane Tristana, which can just jump in. I don't think there's too much threat on the Ornn if he is under that tier 1 in the bot lane. Yes, Xin Zhao has damage, Renekton has the stun, but you have the Bellow's Breath. You can avoid some of that CC, so I think there's a possibility for it. I'm not saying it's a probability for it.
Yeah, I'd say Tristana is kind of the lane swapper, because you have enough turret damage with Trist that you can
with the explosive charge.
Overpower a little bit of the early game turret fortification. So it would have to be GAM that initiates it, but then GAM is also like the least coordinated team of the teams we have left.
I don't think GAM will initiate it. I think maybe Loud will, but we'll see. Yeah. Maybe I'm just so excited about lane swaps that I see them everywhere.
I know. Once the thing is, once you research something, you just want to talk about it.
I just want to talk about it all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Like this one year, I researched Cosmic Crisp apples, and I probably told everybody in my life about them.
What's the Cosmic Crisp
We'll get into it if the time comes, but we actually have the start of the game now. Just a teaser. If this game gets out of hand,
I'm standing here with bated breath.
Don't worry about it.
Root and Croc are going to look for a little bit of invade. Robo here as well. Kiaya coming round on the flank. Croc will spot the fact that Levi was in that bush and force him away. Obviously, Senna can just roam with the jungle early on if you want to get a few stacks. You kind of want her in a lane as well. Into something that is melee makes it a lot easier for her to stack up. The Tristana and the Rakan not too easy to get early stacks on. But although the lane swap it gave me the promise of materializing. It feels like it is not going to now.
Yeah, and I do think, like, we might see fewer lane swaps later in the tournament. Like, if both teams acknowledge that they know how it works, then no one's going to actually want to initiate it unless there's a team comp that really gets favored by one. So, like, the fact that there's no hyper-aggressive bot lane that would push someone to want to lane swap, and there's no...
Oh, you mean like a... Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think... And we've discussed it before, but I'll just retell it for the viewers. Like, one of the things that forced lane swaps to happen over in Europe is, like, when you have a Kalista Ashe that is just going to completely deny you in the first 3 levels of the game and then dive you under turret, hyper carries become, like, unplayable. So if you practice lane swapping, you can pick a hyper carry, send a top lane, and then you're just going to have better scaling. But then there's the added benefit of if the other team actually has no idea what they're doing in lane swapping, you're going to win the game automatically.
Yeah.
But as soon as they actually study it, put the adequate amount of prep in and start matching you, then you kind of start questioning why you're even doing it in the first place, and it'll stop again. Because, like, there really are mechanics in the game to make it disadvantageous.
Yeah.
That's how it disappeared in the first place. But 5 years later, it's back again, I think, because the collective understanding of lane swapping has diminished in the competitive scene. It's like, it's actually fascinating to me from, like, the same way baseball is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Like, I love talking about baseball stats, but I don't like watching baseball.
Okay.
So I love talking about the theory of lane swaps, but I don't actually like watching them.
Well,
if that makes sense.
Thankfully, you don't have to watch it this game.
It's
it does
great.
make sense, chat.
So we get both.
Yeah. It's true. We get to see our feature matchup in the top lane.
Yes. Or Renekton.
Kiaya. Kiaya got the early push here, kind of to be expected. Renekton into Ornn. We'll be looking for that empowered Ruthless Predator stunt. Time to time, we're trying to avoid it with the Bellows Breath, as that matchup does tend to just go in favor of the... I mean, it goes in favor of the Renekton most of the game until the Ornn gets tanky enough, but Ornn very much picked much for his teamfight presence rather than for his laning phase.
Yeah, and I want to see if Kiaya can, you know, get enough good trades in that they can maybe force a dive. It's going to be...
So Renekton's looking to press Q when he has a red bar.
The fact that Croc is...
That's the trading pattern he's looking to do. If he gets a W in, bonus damage. But he's not looking all in early.
Take Scuttle Crab, recall, and then just go about his day.
Robo stepping past here. That's a very good trade from Kiaya, but as you say, like, Levi's not really on the right side of the map for this. He passed from the top side to the box.
Undefeated on Senna.
On the Senna Nautilus, which is always they
plays without their screen turned on.
Mid as well, put Tinones behind, so
that's
often
crazy.
he's the carry for this loud lineup, and looks like that's where Levi is right now. Put a ward in here. You complete your first clear. You check if the Razor Beaks are up. You put a ward in, and then you base, and that's exactly what Croc's doing on the other side of the map. Croc, though, not immediately going for the tempo reset. Instead, looking towards that top lane, trying to force Kiaya out of the lane. Obviously, there's a possibility of killing here, but Robo just wants to get the wave forward. Kiaya with a great dodge. Sonic Wave's going to hit Kiaya, able just to slice and dice his way to safety.
Yeah, I think if the Ornn knockup lands there, maybe they can get a flash. I don't think that's actually a gank that kills. I think they're just hoping...
Well, I don't like the Azir to Taliyah matchup. I feel like it's definitely not
so job
that bad.
done there for Croc. It will mean that he's going to be a little slow to get...
Makes it harder to, like,
respawn, but it's not
do the 1v9
see Levi already on his
instant pentakill play, but...
On that bottom side of the map, we'll see if you try to avoid that or whether he is willing just to step through it. Could look for a bot lane gank, but the reset's happening for Elio and Easy Love. Hook down. Elio tried to dash away, can just battle dance. Wave now stacking up, and perhaps this calls Croc and Levi down towards the bottom side. You see Emo already.
Senna's auto-attacking a champion? Let's go! Damn, bro. Look at how oppressive it is. She has a frozen mallet.
Has the flash root, has heal and flash of his own. TP in just for protection, but they're going for the engage as Redbird dodges the seismic shove. Some tap shoes on him to be able to escape that knockback. Croc looking to see if Emo takes a greedy route through the jungle to get back to his lane, instead just resetting. Levi is here, will meet up with Croc, control ward in the bush. The reaction from Gam, good, but Loud just want to keep Gam around for a little bit longer and then get back to their lanes.
Yeah, Tinones, I think probably would have been better served just teleporting mid lane and getting the early push on that wave, but I understand why he went bot because it was an extended fight. And the question we asked in Champion Select, Medic, of how Loud is going to approach this series, from the looks of this early game, very conservatively.
Yeah.
They have picked excessive scaling. the pressure is actually on Gam to make plays happen right now. And even Redbird, like, he's only doing that hook because he sees the opportunity of a recalling member in the bottom lane. He can just delay the recall and mess up their tempo. They're very, very conservative with their play right now, which is, I think, still a path that can lead to victory.
See Redbird TP back into the bot lane to get that wave pushing out. Root's going to join up with Croc here to try and take some of these souls away from the grubs. What you see good Sennas do really accelerates you through to those higher stack points. Seismic shove on Tinnos, but the wall his friend as he gets yeeted into it. Root actually can't get onto these back to Absolution.
Oh shit, we're taking a fight!
Across the wall, has to burn the flash.
The horn of the Orn porn, Forge God.
Going through Gam as Emo locked up with it. He'll fall first. Kiaya has to flash away. Flash chased by Robo. The slow on Kiaya. Will it be enough? Flash into the last embraces. Root should be able to kill off Kiaya here. Takes it. It's Robo actually in the end securing it. 2-0 in favor of Loud.
Okay, wow, alright. Well,
there by Loud.
Game's got over.
You have a Renekton top lane, and this used to be with Rift Herald, but it's now apparently a grub fight, and you use your level 6 power spike on Renekton and lose. That's really hard to come back from. So Ornn landing that massive shot through the entire team fight, getting the first blood onto Emo was nice, but I think the bigger thing is the fact that Robo gets a kill, takes out Kiaya. They get 2 plates in this top side. He has an experience advantage on the Renekton now. This is actually a point with the Bramble Vest and whatever his next recall is, as long as he doesn't...
You see that damage? That's a Senna support. And she builds boots first. Some champions, kind of dumb. But hey, small in the company, right? That was a beautiful Horn of the Orn porn. Look at that choo-choo train!
Okay, that was... I don't know if that was intentional, but that was pretty sick. Like the fact that the Azir
misses the
Did he buy a ticket? No.
You did not buy a ticket, therefore you get fired.
Right there.
And that's the coordination we come to expect from Loud, especially in these skirmishes. We talked a bit about Gam having these 3
audience clapping.
Join them since playoffs. It can make it a struggle like this because you're not all on the same page. Loud now out to a 1,500 gold lead. Redbird looking for the hook here. Root's going to come across. Already at 28 stacks. Just farming up on that center. And Redbird doing a good job of just keeping this lane.
40 stacks at, like, before 10 minutes is pretty good.
It's not allowed. Like, that Rift Herald, not Rift Herald, right? That grub fight was more of a counter punch than an actual aggressive move, which is totally fine. Like, they do not need to be forcing with Ornn, Azir, Senna.
3 souls from a wave. Was like a wave and a half.
Croc very smartly. They get bot prio.
It's pretty McNasty. Imagine you could get souls from wards. I think that'd be the most impressive thing.
Fight if Gam decides to contest this, but otherwise they can just pick up this Drake.
Yeah, Robo no TP, nor has Kiaya. The hook's gonna land onto Levi. Elio looking for the flank position here as Levi dashes in. Flash away by Redbird, was worried that Elio could just jump on him on that Rakan, but the Drake's going to be secured by Loud. They'll get the 3 grubs and the dragon, all the neutrals going over to the CB law.
Yeah, this has got to be a really comforting start for Loud fans. This is an elimination game, and their goal, I think, is to make it through to the bracket stage. Take a look at this top lane. Robo doesn't get the knock-up, but he's still feeling pretty feisty. He has so much armor.
Kiaya has no flash. There's the first knock-up into the brittle. Dominus by Kiaya. Ult for ult exchange. Robo much healthier right now as Kiaya will look in. Cole the Meek after the slice and dice. Doesn't use it. Didn't have it up at that exact moment. Uses it afterwards on the wave. Will heal up just a little bit.
I mean, super well played. He's got a teleport advantage. He gets the Renekton ultimate out. That means Renekton can actually not impact the game until his ultimate is back again. Robo's going to scale better anyway. Really well played by Robo's Ornn.
And now just playing things nice and patiently. Yeah. You know? As you say, counter punch around the grubs, got 2 kills, made a little punch around the dragon, but it was all just about forcing Levi off, trying to get a bit of a chunk. Managed to do so, and now they are about 1,500 gold in the lead. Root's coming up towards the top lane to help push this out. Redbird still answering bot. Grubs up.
He shared the thing, but had he not shared it, he would have gotten a free soul.
Yeah, I really love Senna. This is why Senna Nautilus is so good. You leave the Nautilus bot with the bot.
You love Senna? The Jatt, come on, man. You can't say that on broadcast.
Kind of realized that just now. They're like, wait a minute, we can't move this Nautilus even if we want to. We should probably get up towards grubs, I guess. But then, like, Redbird's teleport's going to be up pretty soon. If there's any delay at this grubs, he's going to be able to get up there no problem. So Yeah, Loud's feeling comfy.
And the question is for Loud, do you start the grubs or do you wait for Redbird? And those are the two things that can happen in this situation. You should wait, but sometimes teams get a bit overeager and they're like, oh, Redbird's on his way, let's just start it. Here, we see them waiting, which is exactly what they should do in this situation.
Loud's locked in.
Yep.
They're absolutely locked in this game. They're not just saying that they have the Nosher's Tooth on his ear, let's just go anyway. They don't even need to expend the Nautilus.
It is insane to see an orb
not getting experience. Now the Nautilus is here.
Frozen
already used. Knockback with the Dragon's Rage kick as well. Levi locked up. Depth charge onto the backline. Elio just trying to charm some people, but there's no one biting as Loud chunk out Levi, chunk out Elio, and turn their eyes towards the grubs.
Yeah, most likely going to be a 6 grub game for them here. People are moving towards bot lane, and the nice thing with Redbird here is he gets like 30 seconds to make whatever play he wants to if he really, like, they could even set up a dive bomber connection if they're feeling really greedy, but they actually don't have to right now. They don't need to expend that Nautilus teleport advantage. He can just walk down bot lane as Croc finishes off these grubs.
So Emo walking down towards the bot lane to get that push out. He's going to stay around it. Smart from Loud to send Tinones to answer him. Redbird obviously can wave clear, but has gone Warden's Mail, Barmy Cinder, and a cloth armor, so really wouldn't do too well into the Talia. So Tinones is the one to answer bot. Redbird catches mid, grubs secured by Loud. They have 6 of them. They've got the first Drake. In 2 minutes is the next Drake. Expect to see them using their push in the top side, pushing mid to then get some vision into Cam's blue
6
side
grubs
jungle
with Dragon. 2 minutes
Yeah.
on Cam.
6 grubs.
That's
a lot of the time, and this is, they've obviously buffed grubs.
Yeah.
In the last few
yeah.
So they're, I don't know, like 25% more powerful, I'd say, killing turrets. It's so hard to actually know what they contribute. There was these really weird stats I found, or rather, the NA stats guy found after I asked the question. So I didn't find them.
I bet you asked the question.
Yeah, I asked nicely, and then Leo found out.
Sat here in your ivory tower like, please, sir, can you find me the grub stats?
Awaited the results. But in the LCK, teams with 6 grubs lost like 60% of their games.
Okay.
And it's like, I mean, that's a little bit of a red herring.
Yeah, because how many dragons are the enemy team taking while you're taking 6 grubs?
Like, clearly, grubs aren't bad. Like, they only make...
It's kind of sad that it's been 5 minutes and Senna's gotten 11 souls.
What you have to spend to get them ends up not being worth it.
But then again, Root's given up like a lot of unintentional souls.
That's awesome.
The only deficit is in AD
Giving it
carry.
to a Dragon,
Easy love over Root.
the one in the bot lane,
some
top,
1.1k ahead of Elio.
in mid lane.
You've invested nothing and you have had something for free. Capitalism in a nutshell, if you can invest.
Surprise, you're rich.
That Loud shareholder's very happy right now, it seems, Gobi. As they as picking up their dividends wherever they can. Drake up in 30 seconds. Resets start to happen from Loud. Root resets, gets himself 4 wards on that Bloodstone. Double control ward for him as well. Croc has a control ward. There is a little bit of vision in the Loud jungle around that red buff. Perhaps Scam can look for a pick. At the moment, Robo's waiting. The most decorated players in the history of the LLA. Robo looking to see if Emo oversteps a rookie on the international stage, but Emo just pushes out the wave and backs away.
Yeah, Dragon will be up in like 5 seconds, I'd say.
I think the risk for Loud is if you go for Drake now, you are giving up the Scuttle Crab. No, the Rift Herald, in fact, the flash hook lands easy enough, tries to get away, but Croc landed the Sonic Wave and smacks Easy Love down. Loud now pushing mid, and they'll turn their eyes to Drake. They're not going to contest the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they might just take this turret. They got 6 grubs. It's pretty difficult for a support to defend it alone. They're at least getting as much damage as they possibly can into it. Levi will take a consolation prize in the Rift Herald. Kiai's going to get a little bit of top lane damage here, but it is more of the same here for Loud.
Tinone's pushing in bot as well. Emo having to react to mid to clear out that wave means that Tinone's gets the full tower in the bot lane. Kiai trying to trade onto Robo, should be able to take this tower, so it will be turret for turret. But in the end, second Drake for Loud in exchange for that Rift Herald.
Yeah, no perfect game to be had here. Redbird actually in trouble, no flash.
Doesn't have the death charge, it has a hook. Dredgeline his way to safety. Levi looking to see if he wants it. The charm going down as the quickness lands. Root has to flash away. Emperor's Divide. Tinones takes the second tower as he continued his push in the bot lane. The collapse begins with the Weaver's Wall. Tinones on the wrong side of it. Root the first target, but Croc comes across. Emo able to dodge away from that. Tinones leading them on a merry chase through the jungle and just dashes his way to safety. In the end, Loud almost punished for their greed in taking the tier 2, but not quite.
Yeah, the gold lead's only going to extend for Loud. I want to go back just a little bit. Levi's going to be kicking himself there. not standing in front of Redbird's hook there, knowing it's a flashless Nautilus, I think they could have secured at least that kill. But not to be, then that pressure that they used buys enough time for Loud to kill that interior turret, get a huge amount of gold. You can see MasterCard landing comment snapshot right here, 1,500 gold. Fortunones, our guy that they talked about on the analyst desk for performing so well in their first series defeat, but definitely stepping up and playing great here in the first game.
The game hasn't been about him at all, right? It's just he's farmed well and he's taken towers, done exactly what he needed to do in this situation. Currently sitting 0-0-1, only 13 CS up, but because his team is in the ascendancy all the way across the map because he got that tower in the bot lane, or both of them. Such a strong position. Now Loud grouping up as 4 in the mid lane. Robo does have the TP, but he's fighting with Kiaya right now. Elio looking for that flank position. Jumps onto Tinons, flash away, the hook into the depth charge. Knocked back with the seismic shove. TP comes in from Kiaya, counter TP by Robo. Kiaya has to run away immediately, and the tower almost falling. Croc looking for it, but Loud can now step up with their frontline tank and take out the turret. They put up a Emperor's stun disc as well. And in the end, Loud win out on the fight again already.
Yeah.
4,500 gold ahead.
This is...
One-sided.
This is like... What is this reminding me the most of?
When the Empire invaded the Rebel base on Hoth.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah. Loud are just here with the AT&Ts. They're destroying all the turrets.
Yeah.
The Rebels, you know, GAM are just like running away, trying to escape.
So, actually, this reminds me a lot of 2020 TL.
Okay, I mean, that wasn't where I was going, but yours is more pertinent as a reference.
Yeah, I mean, impact on Ornn, Brox on Lee Sin, Jensen on Azir, Core JJ on Nautilus. Took a while for us to pick up the Senna, but, you know, tactical played a little bit later.
Yeah.
But there's something good and bad about winning this.
The good thing is you've won a game.
Yeah, that's the really good part.
Yeah. Kiaya's getting caught out here. He's going to die. Good roam from Tinons to get up here, clear out the vision. In the end, GAM have to find picks, but they really can't find anything on this map.
It's like, we won a lot of games that year.
Sure.
In 2020 as DL. 15-3. But we didn't win the split, we didn't make it out of groups of worlds.
Okay.
Right? And like, I really, this is like a regular season game. Like, you're doing this because it's a really good way to beat teams that you're better than.
Sure.
You don't, and the reason that is because like, you're gonna be better than all of them individually, which that team was in lane. But you don't actually need to have like great teams.
I love the blind run right then when you got no help from your jungler, and instead
which is what
of
it's looking like in this Loud game.
instead of being
This is a slow game. I'll talk about Cosmic Crisp battles later, but I think this is going to be
a lane that can play with Prio, you just get ignored, you get camped, then you become useless.
Like, I feel like there are so many margins in this game
Yep.
that they're just not pushing because they feel like they don't have to. But if they want to make it to bracket stage, they're going to have to. And it's like one game. This is a stupid point, but I do want to bring it up.
I think it's a good point. I think that, in my eyes, if I were on Loud right now, I would say, let's not experiment in an elimination series.
This is a great game one strategy.
Yes. This is like, win this game. If you want to mess around a bit in game 2, if you want to try something a little bit different, as Croc is caught out, Dawning Shadow going off, didn't quite give him enough shield as he will be killed off. Elio takes the kill, Redbat has to flash away, dodges the seismic shove, Robo looking for the flank, has the Call of the Forge God coming in 3, 2, 1, won't need to use it yet as Kiaya is still flanking, Robo's going to flash, the chase continues as GAM will find another, and now GAM with 2 kills, Dragon up in 20 seconds, Rift Herald up 10 seconds on Baron. Do you just rush down the Baron?
I think they're going to try. I think it's the window for them to pull it off. I mean, that's a massive fight that they just found. We've been kind of lulled to sleep in this game, and I feel like Loud was as well. And now, with Robo down for 19 seconds,
there's Hex Gates.
They can't kill this Baron fast enough. Loud is going to stop this.
Elio is in a good flank position, doesn't have the quickness, but he might just try and keep Croc away from this. Kiaya dashes in, they get one, Roots down now. Redbird trying to get away, no flash on him, remember, as he burned it in the previous play. Croc joins the battle, Tinon's putting all the damage down from the side, but he just doesn't have the DPS right now. Croc looking for that re-engage, TP behind us, Robo's going to join the battle with the Call of the Forge God. Will his prayers be answered? Croc jumps onto Levi, knock-up lands, but only onto Elio, who can flash and dash and escape the battle. In the end, Levi will fall, but GAM have begun to even out this series. The Baron begun by Loud. Roots on his way. Do you have the damage? Tinones does have the Zhonyas and the Nashes complete. Do Gam know it's happening?
I mean, they should, but they don't have immediate vision on it. They have double TP, actually. Emo can come as well as Kiaya, who has the Sterix. He's incredibly tanky. Get in there, Renekton.
Kiaya's looking for it. Has the flash. Last embrace. Slows him up. Dominus going in as well. Croc and Robo on the Baron. It falls down to 1,000 on the backline. The Emperor's Divide comes out. Croc able to secure the Baron. Now Robo having to try to get the hell out of there. The chase continues. The quickness in. The last embrace will stop Elio in his tracks. Death charge out by Redbird. He'll sacrifice himself for the good of the team. Tinoz tries to whip the damage down from across the wall, but he doesn't have the mana to do so. Redbird's going to die. Reset for Easy Love. Not in time to get onto anyone else. Loud get the Baron after a messy sequence of events.
And this game did just get a whole lot more interesting. Thank goodness Gam has accelerated that.
The Azir is still so fed.
Loud to try and take that Baron. I think that the safe call would have actually been to just take their third Drake, get themselves on Soul Point, because no one was taking that Baron.
When Redbird wasn't there,
the fight, but because
had Azir dashed in and ulted, I think it would have killed
but then they did lose the fight afterwards, so the gold ends up being remarkably close in this game as it snapped back a little bit.
For Loud, the benefits are you did get the Baron. You almost lost it. Croc was able to secure it against no jungler. You lose the third Drake. Gam getting their first of the game, but Loud are still ahead where it counts. You still have a 2,500 gold lead for Tinoz. He's on his way to his next Titan, likely a Rabadon's for that Azir. You are still ahead for Redbird as well, and the gold difference between Easy Love and Root isn't that monumental. What can Loud get out of this Red Bull Baron power play? You have a couple of Baron buffs remaining. Levi looking for Tinones, but Croc, Root, and Redbird are on their way to protect. Kiaya's pushing in the bot lane. The wave cleared out means that Loud have to wait for the next. Robo in the mid lane is pushing for this tier 2 as well. Now he can come across, has that Call of the Forge God. Such a long range ability. The Weaver's Wall tries to separate the minion wave from the tower, but a cannon minion will do quite a lot of work here. Easy Love dashes in, doesn't have the flash, knocked up with the Call of the Forge God. The Dawning Shadow, the knockup. Oh, Robo! Can't quite get the kill as Easy Love burns the flash, the Bella and Breath. Easy Love, the minions! It's Rob's day today as Loud continue to push in top. The reaction from Gam not there in time as Robo shows why he's at the top of the CBLOL. Quickness in.
Hey, very AD carry just on a kind of a troll pick, but low tier region, so.
Kiaya kicked in with a Dragon's Rage. He tries to trade onto Croc, but the inhibitor should be the target. Seismic shove lands on 2. The knockup with the grand entrance. The chase in. The Emperor's Divide. Sterax, Levi dashing forward. Gam holding on for their lives. Their fingertips on the edge as Loud begin to push them off. Who's king now? Say Loud as they force Gam away.
That's what we like to see, Medic. What a battle we saw. Robo getting the kill onto Easy Love, and then everybody else says, well, if they're going to throw down, we may as well on the top side. Loud come out barely on top of both engages. Let's watch this one more time. So Robo definitely semi-runs it down to start this because he wanted to finish the turret, didn't respect the damage of Tristana, but watch this. So gets the brittle, detonates it. It's the Senna ultimate that always gets you. But then like right here, it's the Baron minions are so strong that it's not even a tick from Robo. And how did that last Tristana not do anything? It was like a pebble against Robo. There's no way Easy Love thought that last auto wasn't getting a kill.
And then Elio looks for the engage here alongside Levi. Can't quite get the knockup with the charm. The kickback onto Kiaya, not the target you want, but watch Emo Seismic shove here. Absolute perfection. Landed on 2. And then the chase continues. The Emperor's Divide just separating the fight enough for Loud.
Who got the Tinone's bounty? Okay, it's going to be Xin Zhao. Would have definitely loved to see that go over to Emo, and I mean, honestly, Easy Love, but he was already dead. The people in that fight. So, Loud actually in a huge amount of control.
Yeah.
For as spicy as this game has gotten. Their dragon stacking is slowed down, but I think the scaling is turning on. It's a 4,000 gold lead, but it's also probably an additional couple thousand because of the upgraded worn items. And they're going to continue trying to push. They're just going to try and take down more inhibitors while they have one exposed.
And got that top lane inhibitor, which is so important because it's Easy Love who has to try and answer it. Levi counter jungling right now, but his base begins to lie in tatters. This inhibitor tower in the bot lane getting chunked out. Elio looking for the engage. Robo still tanking. Dredge line onto Levi. Looking for that backline. Croc going in.
CBLOL doing good shit.
Levi the same. Crescent guard though, keeping him healthy enough. Seismic shove. Only lands on
Canon's hasn't gone in yet.
And Robo finds the knocker. There's 3 for Loud. And they'll look to make it an ace. The flash away by Emo.
The patience to hold the Azir wall?
But his teammates cannot say the same. Loud now pushing in the top side, looking for the win.
That is a nice way to finish for Loud. Some high execution team fights where they're winning on the margins. Robo really with the 1v1 on the Trist, kind of 1v1 on just the mid lane, and really just the re-engage on that team fight, making this a swift 26-minute victory.
Nightlife, Frozen for Storm?
It was patient, it was methodical, it was composed until it wasn't, jatt. He got very messy near the end. But Loud do thrive in the skirmish. That's what we praised them for earlier at MSI. And even though things were slower early on here, they played to their outs, they played to their win cons.
Alright, game 2 in a sec. Gonna be a quick 2-0, I think.
Flex picks.
Alright.
Nothing in here
Sorry, we're back
flex
at these
pick to me
whatsoever.
They did change up their bans. You would hope, but nope, they didn't do that either because it was Jax, Lucian, Varus. They banned Jax, Lucian, Varus, so 6 bans were exactly the same. First pick was exactly the same. The one change was when they picked the Nautilus away, so it's a little bit less versatile of a lane, like a mid-game lane swap thing that Loud can pull off with the Senna Nautilus, but Senna Tom Kent equally as dominant in the laning phase. So we'll just see. Gam thinks the Nautilus was a really big deal and that they were going to be able to pick it up in the 2-3, so that's my best guess to why they decided to go red side again, was so they could control the Nautilus.
Nautilus just has so much CC and has point-and-click CC later in the game, which is very powerful, especially into something like a Zeri. So Easy Love locks in the Zeri. He's played that 3 times through playoffs, only won 1 of those 3. Bans are Olaf and Lee Sin by Gam here, leaving up the Poppy ban, which doesn't really matter as much. You're not playing like a Rakan and everything they were playing in game 1. So
you can't let Robo have.
Fate again removed. Likely alongside a Cassandra here.
Yeah, I mean, Croc still had, it's tied for his second most played throughout the spring split with Poppy. I think Poppy would be decent against Nautilus, Zeri, Ahri, so they might pick it. It would make them pretty low damage and push Robo into a much higher damage champion as well. So, you know, I'm a fan of the adjustments that Gam has made moving into this game 2 because they lost game 1 by a lot. Yeah. So they do need to make some pretty big adjustments, and at least in their champion picks, everything is different so far.
And Levi's gone to Comfort as well. Second most played, 86% win rate on the Wukong. When he cracks this out, you know he means business. The question is, will it be enough for Gam? Because it wasn't purely Levi that was the problem. In fact, it wasn't really even Levi that was the problem in game 1. It was more of a coordination issue across the entire team. Loud very good at winning out in the team fights. There's the Diego. Cassante likely final pick here for Loud. That is locked in.
Yep.
Where do Gam go for?
Hey, good isolation target for no one.
Robo with an amazing Ornn performance, which you don't get to say that often.
Yep.
But it was an amazing Ornn performance in game 1. Blind picking the Cassante here in game 2.
Yeah, that feels great.
And Kiaya, you know, it's time to do some heavy lifting if he wants to keep Gam alive here. Him and Levi with the continuity for this team. Urgot locked. We've only seen the Whippo Urgot. It was very effective. I do like it into lower range comps that need to come into you. Not a ton of things that need to come into them, but he should at least be able to have a bit of a strong showing in the side lanes against Robo's Cassandra.
And again, it's comfort for Kiaya. It's not one of his most played, but he has got 15 games on across the course of his career, 60% win rate. Like, in the end, when you're in this spot and your team hasn't had as much time to practice together and you're struggling in the series, sometimes it's best just to go to things that work for you individually and try and win out through lane pressure rather than trying to outmaneuver your opponents entirely.
Yeah. Backs completely against the wall here. And
I still have to be out for another 4.5 hours, guys. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
If they want to try it?
For Gam?
For Gam. I think for Gam, because the Senna is not going to obliterate the turret that quickly. I think
I'm so tired. Holy shit.
And if they can trade anything to get the Zeri ahead early, that's a window where they can find some success.
I hate the sleeping schedule so much.
And I think Urgot's pretty hard to dive as well.
Come on,
I think he can.
Urgot, it's quite hard to dive.
Like again,
Zeri survives.
I love
pushing the top lane.
I love the theory of lane swapping. I don't actually like watching lane swaps.
I like watching lane swaps. So we can have both the theory and the practicality covered in this game if Gam decides to do it. In game 1, neither team lane swap. We just saw standard 2v2 bot. And I wonder if we'll just see that here again. Maybe You see the center
Got
moving
kill
away
his wire.
from the bot lane
No,
as well.
log off.
Tankett, you have the
I'll just
double
watch the game.
TPs, which can make out-macroing your opponents a little bit easier.
I'm too
But
tired to
for
focus.
now, it looks like everyone is just going to their respective normal positions on the map. Loud one game away from a matchup with Fnatic tomorrow. Obviously, FlyQuest and my brain is tight. PSG have a rematch as well. And we'll see if Loud can clean out this series and go to the next stage. Not the main stage, but the next stage and have a shot at making it to the main stage against Fnatic.
I think Loud Fnatic will be a very exciting series. I think FlyQuest PSG is a very exciting series. So
I agree.
I wish they'd be best of 5s, not best of 3s, but hey. I don't get
how they match up against each other. Obviously, FlyQuest PSG, a rematch of the series we saw on day one. Game one, very close. PSG taking that out. The rest of the series, I think, did start to err towards the FlyQuest side. Whippo's Urgot as well, very wide.
it could be best of
Made it
5s,
quite
though.
difficult for PSG to react. Gam, though, going to get early pressure in this bot lane, get control of the bush.
It probably
Can
should
help
be
you
best of
pushing into the
5s.
Tom Kench in the center, but Tom very tanky. It's hard to bully him out of the lane early on.
yeah, and I do think that Loud was a little bit prepared for a swap with the teleport, but they're very happy to not partake. What a wild invade there by Kiaya. It does delay Croc a little bit, so well done. He's really not going to lose that much up top. So what I mean here is Gam can play this a little more aggressively now because they have the Ignite advantage versus just the teleport on the Tom Kench.
And they have the information that Croc is on top side, which Kiaya very gracefully gave them. So Kiaya now spotted on the ward as well as he goes over to his Gromp. Levi started bot last time. Saw both the junglers mirroring each other in the early game. Likely to see
That was a
here
really
again. Red
good
Root fighting
E
for this
from
level 2,
Kusante.
but they're not going to be able to get it first. Easy
Hard to
Loves needs
land.
to last hit that final minion. Redbird Root respect it and will back away.
Yeah, and speaking of respect, Robo's got to respect that top lane Urgot as well. I mean, if that E landed, it would have been pretty devastating. Nice hook. Good poke.
But a poke back onto Easy Love as well. More sustain on the side of Tom Kench center as well. A piercing dart can just heal you both up.
I gotta say, it's so satisfying as Senna when you can get 2 souls off of twice hitting the AD carry and then twice hitting the support.
Yeah. So very nice. Ward seen here by Tinons. That means they know where Levi is as he paths over to his Razor Beaks. The ward in the bush there placed by Levi. And across the board, relatively even here in this early game. Junglers going to opposite sides of the map. Wonder if Easy Love's just going to back. I was wondering if they'd stay for like one more wave, but is going to back, has his first reset stopped, and then goes for the second in the Tribush.
Yep, so stable in the bot lane where it's was looking a little bit less stable as in the top lane, but Robo playing this lane very intelligently. It didn't get frozen against him. It was able to crash. Didn't even need to have Croc come up and bail him out. So if this game is to break in Gam's favor, I think a lot of it would have to do with Kiaya really having a big-time performance on this Urgot.
Because if you can melt through something like the Tom Kench, that execution really helps you, like chunking out those healthier targets. And then you have the possibility of follow-up from the Ahri, the Zeri with a lightning crash. You have multiple different avenues into a fight.
If you ult the Tom Kench that's eating someone before the Tom Kench can let it go and get the execute, the person that he spits out will be automatically
the gray health and the shield works with the Urgot ultimate. Once it locks on and his health drops below that execute threshold, you just start pulling him. And so it just makes it really difficult for the Tom Kench to time his gray health or even actually use it properly when he's up against an Urgot.
Let's see if that interaction does end up occurring. Big breakpoints for the Urgot, level 9 when you have max ranks of your Purge. Yeah. Because you can just keep it toggled on indefinitely. And then level 13 when your passive is fully leveled up as well means that you get more of those shotgun knees. Very easy for you to do quite a lot of just like incidental damage in fights as well with the shotgun knees. Obviously you're targeting one person, but someone else is getting need, someone else is getting need. It's a big problem.
It's an AoE, so it's like
for those of you who don't care about the minutiae of Urgot, I don't know, mute the stream. When he's 13, 2.5 seconds per leg, they basically never down. Once he's, it's actually one of the, it's the best level 12 to 13 power spike in League of Legends.
Yeah, I can give you that.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Probably. It's early game, it's like 20 seconds, right, I think?
It's really high, yeah. It's like
really
starts at like 25, and even 12 is like 5 seconds.
Yeah. That's a huge jump for the others. See if Kiaya can get towards there. Elio hooking Redbird here in the bot lane. Last Embrace going down, but Root just wants to trade onto Easy Love. Doesn't really matter if you get the Nautilus though. If you can get this very low, she doesn't have the option to jump into the fight as she desires. Croc going for the Razor Beak steal here on the reset. Sees that Levi's on the other side of the map. Levi maybe looking down towards taking away Razor Beaks of his own. It's going to be a camp for camp exchange, but Levi spotted on vision as he goes in.
Yeah, maybe a fight happening in the mid lane here, but it's level 6. They most likely just get an ult if they get anything.
Oh, Root steps forward, is hooked. No Devour yet for Redbird, obviously not yet level 6. Rooted up, there's the Abyssal Voyage forward. Easy Love able to dodge to the side of it. Redbird still has the thick skin, but really well played there by the Gam bot lane, able to avoid the damage and put out some of their own.
Yeah, I like this a lot more. I mean, in game 1, when the lane phase was incredibly close, we're thinking there's the sense of inevitability that Loud is just going to win because they had such incredible scaling. In this game,
this isn't really a goalie. This game was kind of nice. But last game, they were so far behind. It just
He's also
wasn't
going to be really
money.
strong. So I really do think that it's not like Gam got completely blown away individually in game 1. They just got slightly pushed over in lane phase, and then the team composition knocked down the house. So much better start here, and he's got him. He's got him.
Okay, credit to Kiaya for getting him with the disdain, you know, buffering the knockup. But what was Robo doing? Like Q3ing under a tower?
Yeah. I want to see this again because, like, there are levels to solo kills and knockout punches. Like, there's the knockout punch where, like, I really get you, right? Or there's one where I just, like, hold out my hand and you run into it in full speed.
Yeah.
Like, both of them are technically knockout punches and solo kills, but there's levels.
Robo, I think he probably thought Intofo strikes back all out immediately and didn't anticipate the disdain from Kiaya. But
yeah,
just one of those things. Kiaya played it well, got the kill.
Him.
Yeah, gets the fear beyond death, starts to scale up, has played his steel cap, CP's back into the lane. Meanwhile, Croc is doing the grubs. Levi pathing up towards his Krugs, not yet level 6, still needs, well, it's actually almost a whole level behind Croc right now. Has lost out on about 3 jungle camps.
Okay, let's see.
We'll have another look.
Okay, so Q3 push. Oh, Urgot had the E channel.
He was going to be able to knock him into the wall, take him off the wall,
make it all out, yeah, but didn't anticipate the buffer of the E, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit of a misplay there by Robo. Well played by Kiaya to get the kill.
Man, that's a big risk.
The only way you outplay the Urgot in that scenario is if you can flash ult the right way.
Takes him over the wall. I don't even think he was close enough to kill him.
But
chunk him and maybe you ghost away, you know?
Yeah.
Chip away while
I don't think you kill him.
Yeah, so you deny like 5 minions.
Yeah.
And you risk 400 gold.
But we did say in game 1, they were playing patiently, they were playing slowly, and we wanted to see them be more aggressive. Well, Robo did that.
And here's the problem when you have a whole game of not playing aggressively. When you try and play aggressively, you suck at it.
Yep.
That's what happened in 2020.
if you got an aggressive play style and you start playing passively, when you go back to playing aggressively, you're not gonna be able to do what you want to do.
Early game, Honor's even in the mid lane. The lead mostly between Kiaya and Robo. Obviously, you switch the AD carry and the support differential in the bot lane because Easy Love is farming and Redbird is farming, so it's about 300 gold there as well. But Easy Love actually going for the Cull as his first spy as well. Already down to 38 stacks on that, so it'll be a bit of a gold infusion for him when he can get those next 37 minions.
Yeah, let's just scale. I mean, bot lane's going great for them at the moment.
That's play for the late game, man. To be fair, Senna's really good late game, but I feel like this might be like
CS that he's going to need. Solo kill top for Kiaya. I know math on stream post jet lag. That's proof that I'm fine.
Yeah.
Give me another one.
What?
Do not give me more math. So moving into River, I think they should be able to secure this pretty easily, especially because Emo's on reset without teleport. But first Dragon, Ocean, 9 minutes, 30 seconds in the game. I think Gam is totally fine conceding this one.
Yeah, just give it up. But you, as you say, I think.
Wow. Okay, that's a nice tech. I didn't realize you could do that. Holy shit! You can use the ward because you can Q wards with Senna, right?
Pretty good in the late game.
And you can Q the ward in the direction of the Blasco to pop it. That's bro, that is ultimate brain.
But compared to game 1,
yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's a
if things are even as we get towards the 20-minute mark as well. And Tofu back, there's the all out. Kiaya flashes away. Levi looking for this. All out already burnt by Robo. The next wave coming in. Levi will go for the decoy into Cyclone, probably.
I think they definitely want to try this.
Yeah,
Ari moving up is going to be enough.
Moving.
Okay, if two-man dive wouldn't work, but if they bring the farm, they can take him down.
Robo just trying to keep that wave away from the tower. Levi showing. Robo, Q3, Dawning Shadow for the shield. Pathmaker out, but the fear beyond death will lock him up. Kiaya almost dies to the tower, just about able to survive. Root the next target as Emo went in with the Spirit Rush, but can't find much more. Croc coming forward. Won't be able to get there in time. Weaver's wall. Everyone gets on the right side of it, but not with the seismic shove back. Elio locked up, didn't have the flash, and couldn't get away from Loud's first kill of the game.
Nice seismic shove to really save the play there for Loud, because up until that point, it was completely in the favor of Gam. Just barely staying alive was Urgot at the
What's up, Diego?
We're like, this is what they need to do. We said if they're going to win this game, it's going to be off the back of Kiai. What does he do? Gets a solo kill, stacks the next wave. They bring the whole team up. They get a second kill for him. And I think he's going to be able to really start providing 1v1 kill threat against the Cassante. And then if he's then able to also be first to the rest of these fights, they'd have a pretty good chance of forcing a game 3 here. And it didn't look like that was even a possibility after game 1.
In game 1, I think we all assumed it would go the way the first series went.
Yeah.
Which was just Loud, managed to get the lead, control the game, take a few skirmishes, win the game, right? But hit Kiaya 2-0 already. We'll have another look at this dive because it's well executed by Gam to escape before that Weaver's wall. Yeah.
Senna ultimate always makes stuff like this way harder. Damage and shielding. Getting that shield at the very end by Kiaya saves him from the turret execute. And then just like a split second of indecision there by the Nautilus. Does get bumped over the wall, then to get bumped back across the wall. Sneaky play by Tinones there to pick up the kill.
Yeah, Tinones consistently on form so far here at MSI. Redbird down in the bottom lane. 2 plates about to fall off of this tower, as Easy Love should just be able to chunk it out. Don't really think you want to dive the Tom Kench, just like threaten him in a way. It's like, oh, can you step up for these minions? You're going to take a little bit of damage. We did see in the Patreon picture a small gank on Kiaya. He was just forced, you know, about 2/3 HP. Didn't have to burn anything to get away, which was good because he didn't have anything. So if he had to burn something, he probably would have died.
Yeah, fair enough. You know, the Urgot having the strongest level 12 to 13 spike in League of Legends makes me want to know what that is for all the levels.
Level, yeah. Alistair 1 to 2.
Ooh, that's
because he's nothing before 2.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
there's no way we can do this now, but it sounds fun to make this list.
Who's Karthus 6? No, Karthus is good enough before
Karthus 6.
No, but he's good enough before 6.
But specifically, it's what is the 5 to 6? So they have to be absolute dog at 5.
Yeah.
It might be Nocturne,
but
it's a tough one.
I think Nocturne I could definitely see.
I feel like Wukong's pretty dog shit before 6.
Land it. Game, once again, a bit of a slower pace. We've seen a lot of the early games today go along this sort of trajectory as teams unwilling to throw the game or, you know, flip the game in the early game. Only about 700 gold between the two teams. Root at 50 stacks, well, 48. So add 2 to that. That's the maths you wanted.
Yep, you can do that.
48 plus 2 is 50. Yeah.
That's a decent clip. It's always tricky to me with how much they change souls to know exactly what good soul stacking
I usually look
is.
for like 80 at 20 minutes as a rough estimate. Like the 200 on a Reading and Soul at 20 minutes as well. Kind of around where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say either way, like, even if his soul stacking is okay, like, the fact that Easy Love is at almost 10 CS per minute on Zeri against the Senatom Kench means that lane's not going amazingly for them.
Definitely agree with you there. As we see some plates go down in the top lane, plates now falling off. Allowed to get a TP in Redbird to mid just to protect this tower. 6 Grubs and a Drake so far for Loud. They could look towards this Rift Herald as well. Levi on his way, and this is a position where Gamma actually very happy to fight this. If this is voyage forward, there's the dredge line to the back line. Seismic shove going short. Elio low, but so is Redbird. Urgot coming from the top side. Fear Beyond Death doesn't hit, but Redbird will still fall. Dawning Shadow not enough to shield him up. The charm hits onto Root into the hook. And Gam have come alive, but Root was able to flash away and knock back Kiaya under the tower. It's gorgeous from Loud. They turn it on his head as Levi tries to dash away the Heartbreaker over the wall. Levi dashing back onto Root, but Robo there to protect his AD carry. Levi not tanking the tower as of yet, but he has to tank. These fists from Robo. a messy affair, but Loud come out on
Jesus
top.
Christ.
It looked so
Alright, now the
good
favors
for
back in
Gam
love.
until it was an absolute disaster.
Senna,
That
grab
right
the
turn,
soul. Senna, what are you
I
doing?
think it was a robo
Senna.
Q3 from Casante
Okay.
that
It
got
was
the
either
massive
that or
knockback.
seismic shove, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Have to
massive
have
play. We're going to get to see a close look of it in the replay.
Hey, Senna, please.
Everything
Senna, there's two more
was so bad to start
souls.
it. And really, Elio turning right there, dodging Redbird's W, getting the hook onto Croc, and making it so Redbird is just in there without getting the initial CC. And sure, he flashes the Urgot ultimate, but he's dead already. And then the re-engage here did look so good. Watch Elio's hook after the charm lands, and then that was seismic shove that gets them.
Tin owns, man.
And
This
then
guy.
it was
That's a
Robo
form,
with a double
man.
shove. That's how they moved so far.
That was so good from Loud, because it wasn't looking at all in their favor at the start. Root getting caught out, Redbird getting killed. Baby on death going wide did help Loud, but yeah, seismic shove into the Pathmaker back was gorgeous. As Loud managed to pick up the kill. Now 1,000 gold in the lead. They got Drake off that as well. Left the Rift Herald up, I believe. To be on the map.
Yeah. Again, I think that's probably the right call.
Yeah.
Like if I'm tier ranking objectives, I think I'm still Team Dragon. Like I'm always just going to pick the Dragon.
I get that. The only argument I would have is Rift Herald with 6 Void Grubs is a lot of mites if you ride that into a tower. However, you don't have the best turret taking team. Like Senna needs to scale up. Casante can do it on his own. In a
Senna's missed like almost 10 stacks this game.
So
I'm sorry.
you can always fight the Rift Herald later on. Emo's in the bot lane pushing out, has the TP. Tenos has one of his own, so he's going to go down to match. Croc's starting up the Rift Herald. Levi has the Cyclone, has the Flash. Elio has the Depth Charge. Loud currently a little bit outnumbered as Elmo will TP away. The hook going down onto Redbird. He's just dead, yeah. Loud just skipping steps here as Root now locked up. Levi flashes forward, Baby on dead pulls back one. And Loud skipped so many steps, they tripped and fell down the stairs. Gam collapsed and find 2 kills.
Yeah, Tinones wasn't even there.
Yeah. Like Emo pushed out bot, TP'd away, and Tinones was just like answering bot. Loud had already started. Croc going in now. This is a 2v4. Loud, what are you doing, man? Robo gets the all-out across the wall, but Emo can just jump across the chase. Robo getting forced away, misses the Q3, the charm's gonna land, and Gam just absolutely demolished Loud.
What's Loud doing?
I mean, yeah, he was 3-0, but
Brazil
it's not
troll.
gonna matter if it's a 4v2. That was
was an insane
was a little
throw.
bit of a mistake, but that compounded the error so massively.
Yep.
Kiaya already down to stop the turret falling to Tinone.
They had a 2K gold lead and threw it away for free.
This is just a straight numbers advantage. There's just 4 people versus 3.
Oh man, yo, Redbird can't dodge his skill shot the same as Live.
Now, it's 5 people versus 3 as a third joins after one dies. Easy kill again. And just give it up. Like you're already down 2, but Croc and Robo.
They have 0 grubs. Just
so
give up
the. We're thinking quadra kill, but the result was that they just both died.
It's just
and now Kiaya's 5-1 on this Urgot. We talked about him being the key carry. Alongside that, Easy Love still going at almost 10 CS a minute, probably about 9 right now, 165 and 18 and a half. Has the static shift, has the Zeal, has escaped the early game, 2.5k ahead on this Zeri. Teamfights become a lot easier for Gam. Fighting around the next Drake, which is where Loud will want to take their battle, becomes a lot easier for Gam. Obviously, Loud can give up that dragon, but then you're delaying your soul, you're delaying the ability to close out the game.
Kiai also just hit level 13,
yep.
Which, as we mentioned, is the strongest power spike in League of Legends. What's funny about it is probably nothing is going to change because Robo wasn't going to fight him anyway. But just so people know, like, he's a lot stronger now because his legs respawn in 2.5 seconds.
And with the Black Cleaver already complete, Sterax on its way for that Urgot. Tinone still in the lead in the mid lane, has the Seraphs building up towards his next item. There's the Leandries. So Tinone's one to watch in these next fights, alongside Croc, even though he did jump into his death in the battle around the Rift Herald. He is still 1,000 gold ahead, has the Sundered Sky, getting towards his second item, can be very powerful. A single reset is all it takes for Loud to win out the fight. The problem is, it's a lot harder to get that initial reset now.
Yeah, and I think the Whiplash is hitting Loud's decision-making a little bit in this game. Like, they won Game 1 so easily that it felt like Game 2 was just going to be a bit of a rollover. I mean, Gam didn't even switch sides in the draft. The bands stay exactly the same. We're thinking, like, okay, is Gam just going to, like, roll over and go home? Clearly not. They did change all of their picks.
I Okay, well, they brought the gold back to even,
and they're finding the right engagement.
Yeah, it's 5-1, but he's still only like 1,500 gold ahead.
Yeah, what to watch in this next fight? It's the setup. Now Loud has taken a hit. I think they're trying to
calm down a little bit.
Here's the teleport in. This could be a battle.
I mean, that's Robo, but immediately hooked up. The Pathmaker's going to get him away for now. Stun onto Levi. He dashes away. It's only the clone that takes the damage there. Drake up. Cam have control of the river. No real vision yet for Loud. Last embrace on Kiaya. Buffers the staying away. Seismic Shove just short. Unraveled Earth coming out as well, but no one knocked back into it. Means no stuns occur. Easy Love dashes back towards the lane as Loud tries to get mid prio so they can get some vision in this river. Emo down towards the bottom side, trying to keep Loud double guessing exactly how they're going to position. The vision behind Loud now starting to expire. There's still one ward around the red buff. Robo stepping into Kiaya, hook just short. Tino's puts down the Unraveled Earth. Levi looking for the engage. Takes half his health and the Seismic Shove will pull him back. The Cyclone not doing much. Dawning Shadow across as Levi's the first to fall. And there's the resets we were talking about. Elio manages to dash away, but not before the Intofos bring it back. And he won't live to see another day. Kiaya next up. Loud perfectly take the fight.
Man, that was so well done by Loud. You could tell that they just like took a breath in this game and they said, all right, let's slow it down. Let's set up this Dragon properly. And I actually don't even think they had exactly the tools they needed to if they're playing against a stronger, more cohesive team, because I thought Kiaya should have actually pushed bot lane almost forever. Yeah. They should have had good flank angles behind them, but what Loud did is they just completely focused on mid-prio, waited until they found the right engages, stayed as 5 people, they get the kill.
And Senna hit 80 stacks,
so an even game because of 2 mistakes is now another large Loud advantage.
Yeah.
3,000 gold ahead. We'll see this again because it's Levi.
80 stacks is huge on Senna. It's 80 extra range. It doesn't look like much, but you go from like what? You go like from. You go from what? Like I think Senna has what? Base 550.
Before Emo casts a spell. Yeah. And when you have
or base 600 range or whatever, so you go to 680 or something like that. I don't know, man. It's a crazy. She has a crazy amount of range. Ah, yeah.
Tinones steps up, right?
Tinones sees that his team's trolling, so he's like, "Hey guys, I want easy tool. I want easy tool. We got easy tool."
They're in the river again, contesting this Drake.
And Levi's looking for the flank, but this time Loud have the vision control. Riftel popped in the bot lane. That's going to charge forward, but Loud with the Baron with those 6 mites or 6 grubs for the mites as well. Croc able to dash away. Lightning Crash out by Easy Love. Elio forced low, down to half HP. Levi took the Hex Gate across. No minion wave here for Loud anymore. But it is on its way, and Baron obviously will empower those minions to push in. Emo, a good path maker away by Robo to buffer out of that charm. Even with the Riptile charging in the bot lane, like it's killing some minions. Who gives a damn? Instead, Loud will push through mid. They might even look for more. Instead of turning their eyes straight to the Dragon, go for the tier 2. Weaver's wall behind as Levi knocked back.
Nice.
The Seismic Shove on Kiaya takes him down to half HP. Levi looking for the damage, but he just can't find it. Dreadful in by Elio. Hits only a minion. The knockback with the all-out as Easy Love has to dash the wall. Fear Beyond Death. Kiaya thought he could the Pathmaker out into the pool back with a Fear Beyond Death. Means it's a 1-for-1 in that exchange under the tier 3.
I never seen that before.
Yeah, that's you can't be pulled back, but also I'm waiting.
Yeah, exactly. It just holds them both in this stalemate that is going to be broken because the Fear Beyond Death wins. It's an ultimate. Congratulations.
But only when we started observing it. It's Schrodinger's ult, you know? As soon as we observed it, we knew what was going to happen.
I mean, this is a really nice last 4 minutes by Loud. Starting with the first Dragon fight into the Baron, into this push. Like, they know they don't, like, really need to commit that much, right? So they put up the Weaver's wall, they take the turret down, and then we're going to watch this. He does, quote, buffer it with the Unstoppable until he's no longer unstoppable. He was unstoppable for that period of time, and then afterwards, obviously not. But so he dies, but they get the third Dragon. They get multiple turrets in the mid lane. They use reasonable amount of power with that Baron power play, 2,500 gold, and they've, more importantly, regained control of this game.
Tino's now at 3 items as well. In a very strong position on this Talia. Push through mid. You see Robo pushing up top right now. Loud don't really look for the mid lane inhib tower here. It's all about getting the pressure so someone has to answer that wave and then moving the rest of the team up to join this crashing wave with Robo. The Baron has fallen off. Kiaya trying to clear out the wave as quickly as he can. Tino's on his way across from the side as well. The tower will take a little bit of chip damage. No one really stepping too far forward. And as I say that, down to about a 10th HP. No wave yet here.
And this is where GAM has struggled, I think, all MSI. It's just finding ways to be on the same page, because I think with how strong Kiaya is, you just need to find like an entrance for him in a team fight. But like, no one is ever creating wave pressure for the team that can give them enough wards to actually get someone behind. Like, look at all the control wards that Loud has behind them. Like, there's no way they're going to be able to get flanked by anyone. So then GAM is just forced into like staring at them 5v5, and then they just don't have enough range.
Yeah.
The Senna Talia, just way more range, and if there's ever a brute force like engaged by the Nautilus, he's just gonna die, and whoever he hooks is gonna get eaten by Tom.
100 stacks, 100 extra range.
Maybe Levi to take a Hex Gate, get a flank, get the Cyclone, something
That's
like
disgusting.
That's the only avenue back really for
Doesn't do a lot of damage, but
the lineup hasn't had that long
still
together,
technically
so
chunks,
really
and the
good
Q scales off lethality.
that you expect from other teams here at MSI. Allowed.
And she has a blood song, so
have now bounced back, as you say, maybe just taking a breath, reset, understood how they win the game, and have played well to that end. Double control ward. Very important that you're synergistic with your teammates like that. Sure, you have perfect vision. If someone was in that area, even if they'd become the unknown, they'd be seen, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
damn, the double ping of the Wolfcamp flick. Nah, fuck you.
Game 1 was a lot cleaner, but I don't think the Nexus takes pictures. Like, if it dies, it doesn't care how it died.
Yeah.
So it's still going to be a 2-0 if they win anyway.
Agree with you there. We're looking for the tier 2 in the bot lane. You can see Kiaya trying to push sides. Obviously, got relatively good at that, but Lamb have all 5 members here. With Weaver's wall goes down as Gam just have to back away from the turret. The inhibitor tower will be forfeit. Kiaya will be able to
don't even have Baron,
and a bounty in exchange for the inhibitor follow shortly after. Loud might just continue pushing in here. Wow. Elio on the wrong side of the map right now, looking for that sneak behind, the hook, the flank we talked about.
They have some more. It's just teleport in and send it.
They're sending it. But where
is
they
hit around.
The Dawning Shadow comes out, devoured by Redbird. Gonna keep Root alive for the moment. Kiaya trying to get that flank. Levi going in with a Cyclone as well, and Root is the first to fall. Gam have found 2 already. Easy Love dashing forward, looking for Redbird. Instead, he targets Sinones, flashes forward. Will be able to take him out. It's 2 for Easy Love, 1 for Emo as well. They sent it, and Loud have been returned to center. In the end, Robo tries to survive, tries to take Easy Love down, can't find it. Charm out as Gam fight back.
They did it! That's a 5-for-0 ace! They can get an objective bounty Baron after this as well, because it hasn't fallen off yet, and they can actually be ahead in this game.
One moment of decisiveness from Gam has flipped this game on its head. They find 5. They lose nothing.
When the tank Tom catch doesn't peel for Senna.
And the Super Minions are going to begin pushing in. But now Loud have to reset once again. They will be behind in gold, as you say, with that Baron buff, buffing up the gold. You can see the TP behind here.
Look how far back that teleport is. I mean, Loud honestly just got... Once they kill that inhib, they don't have Baron buff. Like, they're not ending the game. Get out of there. So that's going to be the regret that Loud has in this fight, because once, like, you can really see once that Urgot Wukong can actually get in there, they are so much stronger in 5v5. It's just a matter of having the appropriate setup. So that teleport's gone now. That inhibitor was sacrificed. It takes 5 minutes to come back as well. But holy crap, that gold swing is so huge. They're up 2,000 gold now. There was objective bounties like 30 seconds ago.
And 3 items as well on Easy Love, Kiaya, and 4 as well with the Spectre's now complete. It's going to be a challenge for Loud. The Dragon up would be their soul if they can take it. Elio trying to get in, can't quite find the hook. Gam though setting up vision.
The ally dash saved the Kasate there.
Super Minions only
because Kasate can't normally dash over walls.
At some point Gam will have to answer that. Elio, oh! The Hex Fight's just in time to avoid the Spectral Morph.
Yeah, so they just keep hitting the Dragon, but I need to see someone on Gam around the top or in mid lane so they have a way of engaging.
Levi, knocked back with the Intopos. Levi unable to get it as Croc secures the smite. Levi in the back line.
That's the first steal of MSI.
As he's being locked up by Robo. Elio tries to dash in. Easy Love takes 1 as Croc falls. The all-out pulls back Kiaya into the middle of the team. The Sterak's shield enough to keep him alive. That's 2 so far. Make it 3, you have to feel. Levi chases Redbird down the abyssal voyage. Only a voyage into the dirt. Levi trading with Redbird. He tried to say the Hex Gate can't get out. Super minions in the base. Kiaya will answer them. The Hex Tech Soul secured by Loud, but they lose out on the
This
fight.
game's getting dangerously
Gam
close.
does not want to go home. They want to keep playing.
Gam wants the force. G3. They want to force Silver Scripts in this best of 3.
Hex Tech Steel could be the thing that stops them.
Yeah, because this Hex Tech Soul gives Senna so much damage.
Soul, but once they actually get into the fight, like once Kiaya can actually go in after the Nautilus, it's curtains. Like he shreds them so quickly once he's actually in there. And honestly, a very tragic person to pull into your whole team is a level 16 Urgot.
Yeah.
Doesn't even go down. Tom Kench tries his best at the very end to escape, but another team fight win for Gam. I will say, though, that was still a really sloppy engage by Gam. It's going to make it very difficult for them to win this game because Loud, if they play with the appropriate discipline, will still just
122, 120 bonus range.
Straight up 5v5s. That's why objectives like that.
That's just scary. Also, Tenons is getting to the point where he does a lot of
can make things
damage.
happen because it's a fixed point that Loud can.
If Zeri's not careful, Zeri just dies.
Opportunities to get flanks. So
Zeri's at 4 items now.
This one plays out. The poke is only greater now, though, with the Hex Tech Soul on the side of Loud.
And with Root scaling up these souls as well, 125 for him now. Only has 2 items on the Senna, not getting too much gold. You can see a 6k gold lead for Easy Love in the AD carry position. Easy Love at 4 items on this Zeri is having a stormer of a game, but will it be enough? Him alongside Emo.
I think they need like an Anathema's chain or something.
You know what? Maybe those 4 items on Zeri is enough.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, maybe you don't even need to...
Zeri is the pentakill Pikachu.
Maybe just run at him and, you know, sacrifice a few along the way as long as Easy Love can hit. He's almost at 5.
Yeah, he is. He is.
It's going to be 100% crit Zeri.
Right now.
That hurts.
Inhibitor has respawned as well, giving Gam a bit of extra breathing space in that bot lane. Levi trying to step forward here. Root looking. Only level 13 on the Senna. One of the weaknesses of this like fasting Senna is you don't.
Yeah, the jungler's low. The jungler's are level 15. The animated carry is level 17. What the fuck?
Kiaya, Tinones and Emo, same level right now. And it looks like they're going to path down towards this bottom side. Now Robo should know that something like this can happen. He's just going to push the one wave and then back away.
Yep.
Elio using that dredge line. If you hit terrain, has a shorter cooldown. Just seeing if anyone stays around, but obviously Robo just
basically late game
the
it's
bot lane.
soft cooldown.
Yeah, this one's going to Elder, almost for sure, unless something crazy happens beforehand. So
I mean, Emo hasn't died, but
man,
hasn't really landed that many impactful
we really were not expecting
charms.
a 3rd game after that game one. I just want to say,
I wasn't expecting a 3rd game after the inhibitor fell. Like they just pushed a little bit too far off the inhib. Like you literally said, just send it because we thought that was the only hope Gam had of getting back into the game.
Yeah. The mental strength.
I mean, there's a 2-minute buffer till Elder,
so
they'll have a 1 minute to see if they can sneak Baron, but
so much
I don't think so.
In the regular season, the fact that they're competing here is remarkable. I would have to say, so much credit to Gam. It is.
A last whisper though is pretty important.
I'm just having a really hard time figuring out who's favored from this point because like the Hex Tech Soul is never going away. The range is still very high. But the Senna is so far behind in comparison to Easy Love Zeri that if there's just the right engage from Nautilus...
4 items! 4 items on Tenons is huge. He finished the death cap.
I think I agree with you.
It's an insane spike.
Loud. Take that breath. Take that second we were talking about and just slow things down again.
And he's got the void stuff for the Urgot,
They
so...
have vision control over the top side jungle. Gam will get vision control in the river itself. There are flank TPs here.
Yeah, I love this. I actually think they should just start it and just fight it and hope Loud comes into them. Like, they have enough vision control. They should just be hitting it until... They'll actually kill it so fast, but they're contesting here.
Elio hooks, only onto Robo. He's chunked out a little bit by Kiaya. Lightning Crash down. That's huge, actually. The Lightning Crash already used by Easy Love. If you can just disengage and re-engage that Zeri, less of a champion than she could be in the next battle.
Yeah, it buys a minute.
I mean, I really feel like
1 minute.
The more Gam can just simplify the game, the better. And that's just hit the Baron, have a line, like, which is basically where Loud is right now. And like, that's when you would turn. They pulled themselves way too far out. They lost his area ultimate. That's not going to be back. I mean, it will be back likely for the Elder Drake, but it's not going to be back for Baron here. Loud is too weak to start it, so I think we're just stalled out until Elder Drake here.
Croc almost looking for that Spectrum more there, as you say. Might just be the Elders up in 30
Almost
seconds.
140 stack mark.
How many more wards do they
That's like the end game center
A
mark.
couple of controls, has that TP as well. Gam now, darkness on the map for them.
I'm honest, Senna with an Elder buff and 140 stacks is pretty fucking disgusting.
He doesn't have too many wards in his inventory. Elio back on the map as well. Seismic Shove dodge. That's the Spirit Rush out though. Easy Love's ultimate about a quarter of the way from being back up. Tinones has the Weaver's Wall. Can look to separate the play. Maybe you just start the Elder, Weaver's Wall, keep them away. Levi would decoy flash in, try and get the steal. Kiaya on the front line, Robo looking for him. Seismic Shove, dodge, the charm. Onto Robo, look at the damage Devour used. Dredge line in, Robo has to dash away. The Dawning Shadow coming out as well, the Abyss of Voyage away. But it's another charm as Levi finds the back line. A beautiful
Okay, we're going to game 3.
from Gam, who refused to go down without a fight. Croc on the back line, Dredge line's away, but he's only killed off the support. Tino still alive alongside Croc, now managed to escape and survive to fight another day, but Gam find 3 and only lose 1.
Oh, they're pinging mid. I mean, Elder's up. The fact they're pushing this makes me think that they were going for an end. Never mind. I didn't think they were going to be able to do it anyway. That's why I was getting so excited. But now, Gam is just going to take Elder Dragon, and you can see how strong they are in these 5v5s.
See how quickly Robo just melted on that front line as well. Charm into the shotgun knees, into Easy Love.
No MR.
Loud. Clear out the bot wave, clear out the top wave.
30 MR or whatever from 40 MR from Jaxo is nothing.
No way you can fight
to
over it.
Trip
2.5
Bloom
minutes.
Malignance.
To think about things and forget.
Nah, Malignance makes you lose like 20 MR.
And watch this one more time.
Like,
Robo was just kind of fishing a little bit because they knew Wukong wasn't there. I definitely think he didn't expect to get bursted that quickly. And then Redbird, in the effort to save, ends up just getting wrecked by Kiaya. And while all that chaos was happening, there was a window for Levi to find the engage. And that's actually probably one of the best engages Levi has had this game, considering the starter from a 5v5. But ultimately, it's the Zeri. 8,000 team fight
so
damage.
He did more damage
completely
than
online. Guardian Angel completed. You're not going to be buying any more big items in this one. Elder Drake makes this
sub boots for Phantom Dancer because it's
Baron.
essentially just,
and now it's just
a
about,
crit version of Berserker
it's a test. Like, can they actually close it out? We know this team is not an extremely well-coordinated team. They still don't have any minion waves. Like, even though they had the Elder buff and the Baron buff, like, while they were doing that Baron, they kind of had to drop everything, like, forget about the rest of their life, and now they're coming
What's
back
the timer
and crap, all
on
the stuff needs to be
Dragon?
done.
75
so
seconds?
get waves ready before they do this push, and there's only a minute left on their Elder.
2.5 on the Baron.
Well, maybe they can get it in there with this Elder, but
Loud will want to fight.
there's a little bit more time for the
I'm
randoms.
not sure you get through this Zeri. I'm not sure you get through Kiaya.
Actually, I
He's
think
almost
that
full build himself.
I think they try and do it on this wave, unless they're Loud needs to try and get someone like sneak around the side or something to kill these waves,
but you can't. Like, Emo's sitting on top of that wave to make sure it can't push. The Weaver's Wall will separate it. 45 seconds, next wave on its way though. They're gonna have at least 20 seconds with a wave in the base, and this Elder Drake still up.
Last wave, no Weaver's Wall this time to try and shut it down. They do have all their ultimates, but this is Gam. This is Gam trying to send it to game 3.
And they do it. They were backs against the wall, all hope centers. Levi dashes in, the Cyclone Tinones, the first target. Tinones with the stopwatch, lightning crash on the back line already. Robo is down. Following him is Tinones, and that's it. Gam find it out of nowhere, out of nothing. Gam breathe life back into the
Redbird threw a lot.
Wow.
But damn, guys, we are going to game 3. That's 5 games today.
Their backs against the wall.
At least,
they just sent it.
At least Gam is trying.
Deep TP ward that they went on. They
Astrals or Astrals or whatever just gave up. But excited. Be back in game 3. Alright.
But the worst
here we go. Will we get a snoozer, a banger? Let's find out. Because game 2 was hella fun.
And then they lost again, so
but
a lot had to happen.
There was the Rift Tower fight. where it was 2v4 for some reason. They just decided to take the fight, right? And then
I would just target bank,
and they get Baron and they take the bot lane inhibitor. And they say, oh, we can go for Nexus Towers as Baron falls off, and they get TP behind. It really felt like
no. I'm so tired of watching this lane. It doesn't do anything.
Instead of saying,
they're just locking Zeri Nautilus. They're just locking Zeri Nautilus.
We even talked about it mid game. Like they need to take a breath. They need to take a moment. It worked for them.
They need something that works because the Tom Kent clearly wasn't there. Do not salty run back. Oh my god, no, it's a salty run back. No.
Where the 6 bans
no. Wait, Tenonsis is here. Tenonsis is here. Tenonsis is here.
No one has switched bans.
Yes.
This
yes.
is the first we have from game 2 to game 3.
Yes.
Instead, prioritizes the Azir that he
what?
With in
ain't no way. Ain't no way, Emo. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way he's coin flipping a Kali. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Levi's
ain't no way.
Nocturne's very good.
I mean his Nocturne's
similar threat.
His Nocturne's legendary.
Yeah.
That's that was the his rising.
Oh, coin flip a Kali for the final game.
3 times in the regular season, 100% win rate.
Hasn't lost with it in
playoffs. Yeah.
Okay, man, your Gam really want to throw the Brazil out of the region. Okay, please ban the air god. Ban the air god. Ban the air god. Ban the air god.
It is an assassin.
Therefore, we must love it.
Ban the air god.
Yes.
Agreed?
Yeah.
I love this Akali pick. It's so good, chat. I'm so excited. However, I can see it struggling at times. Tell me why.
So Senna Tom Kench, very hard to assassinate against. Secondly, I feel like just watching the first 2 games of the series, they
Nocturne or go. Nocturne or go. Nocturne or go. Or Nocturne Wukong.
You pick a Kali. Like the only way
you need an answer to the air god
is if your side lanes are really good, because you need
ban
to
the
be able to
here,
have flank angles in team fights.
or you ban the air god if you have an answer to the Wukong.
Team is in your base and you get the flank because they're in
now they have a lot less CC for the Tom Kench, which is really good. Last time they had the Ari. Okay.
Alongside that, a Wukong replacing the twisted.
Okay, it can't be Cassante top. It can't be Cassante top because Gaia is just gonna log in Urgot and the game's gonna end.
Do you go for the twisted fate? Likely jungle here, leave top for last, obviously, in terms of draft priorities. But do Gam decide that twisted fate is important enough for Kiaya?
I mean, I think they should pick jungle here.
Yeah.
And give the keys to Kiaya to have counter pick.
It can't be Cassante. It can't be Cassante.
Lee Sin, even though a lot of things have been banned against Levi, you can still have massive impact on Lee Sin.
Zinzao can be great against Zeri.
The risk for Gam is mid jungle doesn't have any CC apart from Dragon's Rage when you get to level 6, so you do have a lot of burst damage. You can assassinate someone. Question is, can you lock them down?
The Sejuani is really good though.
His Croc is going to tank as well, even harder to assassinate. Okay. Lauda just said, okay, try and kill us. Good luck.
I mean, they're a little low on damage. I'm not a huge fan of Sejuani Renekton as a duo. And then also the fact that they have Senna Top Kench, which takes a little bit longer to get damage. So it's going to be a little bit slow, which is kind of why I don't like the TF. It's exciting, we're getting cheers because it's fun and it's flashy, but like when a team has like no damage, that's when you lock in the stupid stuff like Ornn, right? Because then you get Ornn to scale up later and Zeri can tank. But anyway, they're going all out. Gam is here to play. This is a way that
very interesting draft
because you show up behind them as Twisted Fate. It's great. So let's see how Kiai can play this early laning phase. Loud has gone back to a conservative composition.
If Emo doesn't get going,
low front line, high engage, high execution.
It just build armor.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah, it really will.
Rando and Zolman is going to be clutch this game.
The damage from Loud is exacerbated by the fact that this Brute on Senna hasn't been filling me with so much confidence through these fights. Only 2 items last game. There is a strategy where you switch the Tahm Kench to having the support item mid-game, and then the Senna sells it so she can start farming. You can even farm a little bit even with the support item, so I would like to see a little bit more damage coming out from Roots in fights. Tinone's having an incredible MSI, having an incredible year.
You're going to have 40 CS total.
I put a lot of expectation on him to be the key damage dealer here for Loud.
I agree. Tinones wants to step up in this game. Being back on Azir, I think, is the correct choice.
The Taliyah was nice, it just didn't do enough. Like, the Azir was open, so I really don't know why I wasn't
I'm
picked.
actually expecting them to come out really conservatively here.
I think it's game 1 early game.
Game 3, exactly.
I think they capped the shit out of Kiaya in the top lane. Like the top lane has to be a 2v2 war zone. It has to be. Robo needs to perform.
Level 6, just the early pyro Senatom Kench and the ultimate.
Tenones was winning without ganks.
If Gam wins, I think it's very spicy. If Loud wins, I think it's very controlled.
I agree. And Gam exemplifying the playstyle that has made the VCS known internationally. Aggro, aggro, aggro. Get kills, take fights, go for battles. And it can work as well when your team hasn't got as much coordination as a team that's been around, together for a little bit longer, where everyone is just trying to outplay. Everyone's just trying to make, like, if you give someone that can 1v1 win, and a champion that can 1v1 win, you're just trying to hand scam. You're just trying to make those plays. It can work. Not saying it will. We'll see if Loud are able to stifle a little bit early aggression that will come out from Gam. For these two teams, though, it is a rematch from Worlds 2023 in Plains. Loud beat Gam in the first round, lost to PSG, and then met Gam in the qualification series for the best of fives that actually put you into Worlds. And then Gam won the 2-0 at that point. Loud looking for vengeance, Gam looking for the reverse sweep. Is it a best of 3 if you win the first? It's technically a reverse sweep. I'm going to go with it. Yeah.
I mean, it's actually really cool that we have this bit of organizational rivalry between, Loud and Gam.
Yeah.
The fact that they're now 3-3 in game score against each other as well. How competitive it is.
The third series they've met as well within 8 months, which is really cool. Right? It's developing these rivalries between the regions.
Ooh, bot lane.
Yeah, Redbird are trading very aggressively here, losing out on the trade. Obviously, we'll have a little bit more sustain, but Elio gets the root. Won't be able to get too much more. Staggering blows, doing quite a lot of work, but the piercing darkness again. We talked about the sustain that can come out from the center in this lane for the Tahm Kench. Level 2 first for the Loud bot lane, but they are playing on the back foot, waiting for Easy Love and Elio to hit that to themselves.
Yeah, got to make sure to... Again, they are down a combat summoner, so again, Elio has decided to take Ignite, and Redbird has decided to take Teleport, so there's triple TP for Loud to try and play the map. That could help match the Twisted Fate a little bit later in the game. And it's such a... I guess it's such a strange role that Loud has kind of turned themselves into to win this series, where, like... Because when Loud was playing against TES, their role was like, we just need to find these opportunities to throw down, take massive risks, and then maybe we'll be able to get advantages that way. And they kind of did. Like, they had some nice dive plays. There was moments where it looked like they had some momentum. But then in this series, they're the ones that are like, take a breath. Let's play slow. Let's be controlled. We're the better team. Let's let the other team make a mistake. It's just funny how League of Legends works like that sometimes, because that's how they have to win the series. That's how they won Game 1. That's how they drafted here in Game 3. And them skipping steps and not taking it slow is kind of why they lost Game 2.
Really was. Croc's going to be able to get this Scuttle Crab. Levi will be aware of it as he walks past. Pings coming out on Levi as well, as Robo's falling down to half HP, puts a ward in the bush. Reset coming out from Root, he immediately parts up towards that top side, realizes that a dive is on the cards. Croc trying to hover the vision here as well, jumps in, spots Levi. And Levi should be able to escape this. Croc will hold the stun for as long as possible. Kiaya coming in with the ghost as well, but they don't realize that Root is on his way. Emo trying to come into the mid lane. Croc falling low, down to 100. One more order from Levi's enough. Tinones comes in looking for the cleanup. Tinones can't quite get Levi down either. Now it's a 3v3 as Tinones has to flash the wall. Flash forward by Kiaya into the blue card, it's enough. Levi dashes away from Robo, who lands the Ruthless Predator and culls the Meek as he finds one in response. Now he's looking for more. Double buffs on him. Stun card locked by Kiaya. Gold in his eyes. As he looks for Robo. Emo can't quite take him. And now Croc rejoins the fray. Kiaya, no flash, no ghost, but should be able to walk away until Tinones, who TP'd in, meets up with him in the jungle. Kiaya falls. A 2 for 2 in the end as Easy Love just dashes away from Redbird and bot.
Robo playing on the limits there as well. At the end, almost dies. All of these fights are so intense, knowing that the loser of this is completely eliminated from MSI. But like,
Redbird has the flash.
I mean, he's dead.
Flash, Abyssal Voyage now will get him out, though. That was the issue with the early staggering blow. Sonic Wave, not enough to get through the thick skin. Flash forward, Dredge Line, and he is still dead. Held the Voyage for long enough, but he's
that's a lot of
to the underworld. The anchor weighing him down.
Almost outplays that, but the kill goes over to Zeri. That's bad news for Loud. Watching this again, I mean, the willingness to just keep going by Levi shows that he's been in this moment before. So once the Senna shows up, a lot of times you just back away, because like literally their whole bot lane is still running back from base. It is a pure 3v4 that they're trying to take on here, but they flash in, end up getting 2 kills, and man, if Levi could have made it to that blast cone, it would have been incredible. This allows them to restart though. They teleport in and end up making it 2 for 2, but like overall, it should still be a big play for them because they got free time on the bot turret in the 2v1. But overall, game's still relatively competitive. 700 gold lead for GAM.
Ki are farming up well in the top lane as well. 45 CS will have that passive, getting him extra gold with the Merc Treads first on the Twisted Fate here. Easy Love going Cull again. Zerka's alongside Cull with that kill, bolstering his gold a little bit, meaning he can get towards those level 2 boots a bit earlier. Elio roaming around the map. Redbird is down towards bot, doesn't have the TP, must have used that to get back into the lane. So Levi's going to get what I believe are GAM's first grubs of the series, if I recall correctly. I think Loud have been on top of them mostly.
I think you're right.
I might be wrong. It has been a back and forth series with enough action that sometimes we forget these things. But Levi did manage to pick up 1, which allows him that extra treat, that bit of extra experience as well, as Elio's going to help Emo push out mid. Dash back from Emo, and Tino's just respecting that fact. But it's free time for Easy Love in the bot lane. Like, I really wonder how Loud assigned their lanes to just allow Easy Love so much time with that tower. Gold falling as well as the minions go in.
I think Loud fans are sweating profusely.
I would be.
Yeah. This is not the series or the start to this game that they wanted.
Now, tanks, now Levi's here.
They aggro the turret early, they lose the Sejuani passive, they have to completely back out from the gank. It wouldn't have worked anyway with Levi there, but it just shows that there's just this level of hesitation and minor misplays happening from Loud here. The turret there, the fact that Zeri's gotten so much free time, also a bit of just a weird macro mistake as well, to have Easy Love with the Cull just getting so much free time once again. Even like he hit 6 items in game 2, the draft goes so much the same, they give it back to him again. There's no plan to shut down the Zeri as of this point in the game. And they're down 1,000 gold with no meaningful objectives to show for it. So GAM is just taking all that momentum from the bot lane fight they had in game 2 to now, and they're making it count.
And we often talk about momentum games in a series, like winning game 4 of a best of 5, maybe winning game 2 of a best of 3 as well. Swing things in GAM's favor. Have a couple of players very experienced at this level. Kiayo and Levi, obviously. Loud, Robo and Tino, the guys you always look to in this sort of situation. Croc as well, been with the organization for a while. GAM will get their first Drake of the game once again. XP lost to the tower in bot as Redbird not there in time to answer. Root, 23 stacks on him. Looks like he's pathing up through mid towards that top side. Might just go straight towards top. A dive on Kiaya, a possibility. No TP for GAM as Emo used his to get back to mid lane.
Yeah, they kind of are feeling like they need to make something happen. There's no flash on Kiaya. He's very fast though. This should be a kill.
Gold card locked. Croc tanking the tower, can do that for a while. There's the stun with the permafrost, and there's the kill. Well played by Loud to get it. The collapse begins though as Levi jumps onto Root. Root's level 4, how'd you get out? Levi takes him. Emo!
Oh, no! That was a kill if he gets the flash right. He was going to execute with R2.
I understand the name now. I'd be sad after that as well as he face plants into the wall. They'll look for Robo, can't find him. Levi dashes back and Emo can't get close enough. Devour onto Easy Love, but he'll just dash out of that. Lightning crash. Redbird has the thick skin. Easy Love should just look for the plate here, nothing more.
Yeah, another plate for Easy Love. Route took a very wrong turn for that one. Level 4? Jeez, I need... so that's just not something you see him do. There's so much pressure on them right now, I feel like, based on the expectations of what the GAM roster looked like, because they haven't had that many games together, with how well game 1 went, and it does look like the pressure is actually getting to them in a small way here. Again, pretty good dive, and I think he's just thinking that he needs to
Part into the
escort.
wave, right?
He just wants to escort his team out a little bit. But yeah, maybe he just auto path to the wave.
Well, he walks back towards the turret along the safer route, and then I think they're looking at like, oh, if I get close enough to the wave, I get the souls from it. So he wants to go the quicker route to try.
Yeah.
It's difficult to know the machinations of the mind of Root in this sort of situation, but for Loud, I think that apprehension, that hesitancy, coming as well from the fact that you were in the lead in game 2. You took an inhibitor, you should have won the game, and then everything collapsed from there. It can weigh on your mind that like there's two routes to take, for want of a better word, after a play like that, after a game like that. It's the, we made this mistake, if we just clean that up, we win. Or it's the, oh, everything collapsed, we're frustrated with ourselves, we're angry with ourselves, right?
Yeah.
And at the moment, it feels like Loud are trying a little bit too hard to do things when they can sit back a little bit more and just wait to scale up. Because you have Senna, you have Azir, you know, you are going to be stronger as the game goes on. And GAM are very powerful in this early game. Not that they won't be powerful later on, obviously, with the Zeri, but the Loud composition doesn't execute as well in the early game as the kick comes out. Perfect execution in by Emo. Shurima slide back. Tinone's able to escape. Emo takes the tower. Glacial Prison's going to land onto him. Sonic Wave on the backline though, and it's Levi who finds him. Safeguards to his teammate. Root had to flash away, and Easy Love is here for another bit of a Barney. He finds another. Robo fighting with Kiana in the top lane. Gold card locked in. Robo still chasing, but you can't catch up with the ghost of Kiaya. And now Robo has to run. Does have the flash. Will look for the stun. Cole the Meek flashes across the wall, but there's a ward in that bush, and Levi's on his way. They might just give the kill over to Easy Love. Levi, Easy Love, in fact, gets it in the end. A huge for GAM.
And GAM is getting further and further ahead in this game. Screw this like team fight, lane setup.
They feel pretty tilted, not gonna lie.
Game 1 and 2, they are just getting to the fights before the objectives can be set up by Loud. Rowdy is still level 5.
Yeah.
At 12 minutes on this Senna. Yes, he's getting a lot of souls in these grubs, but you are not going to be in range of turrets.
He has less souls?
1,000 gold here if you're Loud.
He has less souls than he had like game 1.
For this kill, Emo does misplay this though.
He had 49 souls at 13 minutes.
I mean, I think you want to wait a little bit for the R2 or be even faster with it. It does get flashed out, but then like, my God, Levi, what a play to fly back in there and get out. And then to just fly over the wall, get the execute, because he's 3 levels up on his counterpart as AD carry. Really sick. And then Kiaya just spacing Robo so well with the TF. TF's a menace in the 1v1 lane.
And Levi, a name synonymous with the VCS, as we see a TP behind. Counter TP used. It's going to be a 3v2. Abyssal Voyage immediately out by Redbird. He knew he didn't want any piece of that action. He takes the trip away from his mid laner. Tinones falls 1-3-1 now on the Azir, and everything that was going right for Loud begins collapsing under the pressure that Levi and GAM are putting them on.
And this GAM team looks completely different than they did in game 1.
Oh, 100%.
They are so decisive. They are so aggressive. And I mean, part of it is they're just on more active champions, but they just seem to be playing better in their individual matchups, and that opens
3 games of Senna.
for them to make plays.
Not one game where he looked good.
Beating Robo straight up in these 1v1s that allows the rest of his team to come collapse in and help clean up kills.
I mean, GAM, previously Gigabyte Marines, have always been a name that you thought, could they do something? Often a surprise.
Giga what Marines?
Level 6 Nocturne ulting into Fnatic's bot.
Is the A in GAM for the A in Giga?
2017, 2018 Worlds, I believe. Levi so consistent on this lineup as well, and a lot of this early game has been under his hands. The invade at blue, the fight in mid, he's constantly in the right position, and Croc has been found a little bit wanting. Obviously, the Sejuani a lot harder to have an impact on the map in the early game.
Support
Much
build.
being a tank, having that Glacial Prison for later game team fights, but
I don't know, man.
Loud are really struggling. Their backs are against the ropes, and it feels like one more punch from GAM might be a knockout.
Yeah, especially if that gold goes to Easy Love.
It's about a 5K gold loop? Yeah.
He's so comfy on
4K gold
right
loop.
now. He just came off a 6-item Zeri game, and he's back into being massively far ahead.
He's almost a third of the way there already. Pick onto Robo. Levi looking for the chase here. Robo tanky enough. Stride Breaker first item for him. Sonic Wave hits from Levi, but you don't really want to dive the Renekton in this situation. He's used to being underwater as an alligator. Diving him, not always advisable. Dragon up for Gam. If they want the second, Levi will start it. Tino's getting some gold for Loud back on the map. The 4,000 gold lead for Gam. It will fall a little bit as the turret does fall in top lane.
I mean, Azir and Nashers can still take
It's the most
objectives.
positive thing to happen to Loud this game, actually.
Yeah.
They are able to get both the Akali and the Lee Sin ultimates out, and they are able to get gold onto their best player, Tinones, on Azir right now. Gets first turret gold. Sure, Emo gets it on the other side, but it's not his bonus. And the lethality of Gam with Levi and Emo not having their ultimates is much lower for the next little bit. Yes, they give up one Chemtech Drake. They really do not care about that.
Yeah.
It's way more important to make sure they have damage for teamfights later.
The Ocean Soul, not seen as the most powerful soul these days, kind of fallen off since the days of yore, probably when souls were introduced, probably the most powerful. Would help Loud in a
Oh, it was
protracted
disgusting when it
fight.
was first introduced.
But they're probably going to get burst out before it really has too much effectiveness. Gam,
Chemtech's always been the most broken before it got changed.
Even if it's
Because everyone would get Scion passive, and
Yeah, I think it would,
Bro,
especially against the low damage.
80 carries with Scion passive, bro. Like, oh, I almost got a pentakill. Okay, I got my pentakill now.
Because like Levi's 3-1 and 4 on the Lee Sin, like he's going to be enough of a bruiser that it's actually going to be really hard to kill Lee Sin until you have, I mean, maybe ever, depending on how far behind the Senna stays in this game. If last game is any indication, so
Then he's
Gam is
Stridebreaker.
in such a good position right now.
I mean, I think with the
Only
Stridebreaker,
at 49 right now on the Senna. Hasn't got his first completed item. Emo here. Surrounded by Croc and Tinones, but with Elio behind him for a little bit of protection. Kiaya takes the turret, ghost in by Kiaya. Levi coming in as well, the safeguard forward by him. They can chase onto Robo. Robo flashes away from the Destiny, but Kiaya locks the gold card. Dominus, Dawning Shadow, is it enough to keep Robo alive? Kiaya tanks the tower, and Levi tries to get the kill. Beautiful! Robo survives the dive and gets one out of it to boot. Easy Love trying to join up with Kiaya to make sure that Tinones can't chase any further, and he'll do exactly that.
Loud's not out of this one yet. Robo survives another gank.
Yep.
This time actually gets a kill back. He's
so what is
now
that? Is that, that's Trojan, right?
Stridebreaker Renekton, 3-1 and 1.
Yeah, I think that's Trojan.
Still a
It's hard to,
big
like,
hill
name
to
things
climb,
that
but he's a small glimmer hope right now for Loud.
Kindle Gem builds into?
Those short crocodile
Yeah, it's
legs
like
gonna take a while.
Spirit Visage or... Well, he's got the pickaxe, so it has to be Trojan.
Is that Easy Love hasn't been involved in these dives. He is superbly fed right now. He's got his Runans complete, so that's 2 items.
I mean, he's scaling
Runans,
super well.
For the Zeri. Kiaya has a Kraken Slayer, likely going back
Yeah, getting like
up towards his next
almost 10 extra gold.
So if those two are given time in a fight, alongside the assassination potential of a Lichbane Akali, it becomes even trickier for Loud with Dragon up in 2 minutes time. Loud start to try and control through this mid lane.
Yeah.
They also have to deal with the Rift Herald.
And it's really hard for them to lock on to Easy Love with the cleanse as well in this game. I would say, though, if Loud can make fast plays, they can still win team fights. So they have enough CC. There's enough squishies on Gam that if they get the right engage, they'll just be able to blow. You know, they take Kiaya and Emo out of a fight right away because Chinones gets a nice swoop on them. Yeah, they're going to win that fight.
Yeah.
So even with this 4,000
Robo's going to have to put the carry pants on.
By the way, because they're playing the side lanes quite well right now, actually. They're going to try to fight back.
I mean, once Azir gets that death cap, is he getting death cap second or is it going Zhonya's? I think Zhonya's might be the more conservative option.
Abyssal Voyage there as well, but good roam from Robo. Easy Love cleanses immediately from the Glacial Prison. Sun's going to land on Levi, but Robo's forced away. Robo has to flash as well as Easy Love flashing forward. The Devour is going to keep Robo alive for the moment. Dawning Shadow coming out as well, but already won over to Easy Love. Croc retreating and Loud will be able to walk away wounded to the safety of their tower.
They traded.
Easy Love is so fed.
Yeah.
He just obliterates them when he flashed in there. Yes, he used Flash and Cleanse. So
I don't know. I don't think the Kalista ban was needed. I think.
Tower charges from behind the turret. The tower will fall soon. Croc hooked up immediately, and he's burst where he stands. And now Gam 10 kills to 4, up a 6,000 gold lead almost. The Drake up in 30 seconds. The timing for Gam sublime.
Yeah, like we said, totally different team than they were in the first game. They're playing so
Yeah,
well.
the Shoshan on Renekton now. We need the Sterix.
Really surprising me that it came out of the
Sterix
Really
Cleaver.
try and charge through the Loud players because you get a knock-up. You get
You
1
do.
second CC
Yeah.
if you go through.
We gotta pray. We gotta pray. We gotta
The start
pray.
of this one did look good for Loud, but nice buffer there by
Really good flash by the Nautilus. Baited the enemy team so
I
hard.
feel like the slow landing prompted Easy Love to flash in, and then he's just, I mean, he's 2.5 items when nobody on Loud has completed 2, so he's just able to do stuff like that.
You know when I was there, yeah, that's
So much damage for a fight that early in the
20
game.
minutes in.
it's more damage than like
There's barely
all the
5,000
9 other
health
people put
on
together.
Loud.
Very impressive from Easy Love. We saw as well before that GAM had spent their gold, had bought their items, had about 10% more combat, or 10 percentage points more combat itemization than Loud had in that fight. Now, Loud have been able to spend a little bit of gold, but still only sitting on 1 item across the board. Robo trying to trade here. He's the only one with 2. The Drake down to 2,000. Levi looking for the smite. Glacial Prison goes.
Oh!
Smite secure.
Dragon Steel?
They slow the game down. Croc trying to escape. Death charge. Levi dashing in, but a great devour from Red White keeps Tinones alive. Croc will be sacrificed. Robo trying to get him from the side here as well, but I really feel Loud are just retreating. Redbird Abyssal Voyage stopped, and that's how you catch a catfish, and that's how you catch Loud out. 2 kills more over to GAM as Robo's forced away. A great kick from Levi.
They might be thinking about Baron now because they do have Kraken Slayer, TF, Azeri. They're just going straight for it. And that is still a little baby Senna that doesn't seem very likely to be able to stop 5 people at Baron.
Nope.
I hate to say it, but GAM's running away with it.
They really are. 8,000 gold, almost their lead. The Dawning Shadow coming out, but what can you do? Kiaya steps in, Elio! Flash hook just wide. The Baron down to 2.
When that flash hook happens, that's literally the end of the game.
Strike first in the Baron battles of this game. 8,000
But,
gold their lead. 2 Drakes to 1.
hey, they slowed the game down by 5 minutes.
Down a very long flight home.
They are absolutely shell-shocked after the way they dominated game 1. Sejuani ult whiffs here. They get the steal. Now it is time to run away as fast as possible. They can't get all the way out. Tom Kench ultimate buys them a lot of space. The Senna move speed's moving them along. But man, Kiai is so fast with that Ghost and the Rapid Fire Cannon gold card. It baits them in to defend him for a brief second. Big mistake by Tinones to even be in range of that Q. And all smiles for GAM. They were 1 team fight away from complete elimination in game 2, and now they are 9,000 gold up in game 3.
Easy Love at 3 items now. An easy death for his opponents. Infinity Edge complete. Emo has 2 as well with the Hex Tech or Rocket Belt. And there's 2 on Levi.
Is Brazil overrated? Yep.
As GAM now for the next 2 minutes.
Watch the CB LOL, watch the CB LOL. Why? Because they choke? Yeah. Bro, man, they threw so hard. Like,
everyone is in a deficit in gold apart from Redbird, who's got 1,000 gold lead. Who gives a damn? He's farming.
Yep.
Alright, this is Tinones' first bad game.
Dig yourself out of, and currently GAM are just throwing Loud shots.
But
yeah,
I don't think it's Tinones' fault.
That he just like cheesed his way to 3. Like, no, he's actually an Infinity Edge ahead of your whole team. That's amazing.
That's crazy.
And for GAM, what a sight! Like,
it's just.
It is like
coming into the tournament, everyone counted them out. Obviously, they had to switch their roster going into playoffs. The thought was, hey, you can put on a performance, but you're not going to challenge. You're not really going to be able to fight.
I mean, people always say, like, you have to watch out for the VCS. Never count out the VCS.
Yeah.
That's never been more true than this series.
Yep.
Because there are so many reasons to count them out. Yet they just keep.
They're gonna have to actually show up versus FlyQuest. Versus Fnatic.
Simplifies why he is, in essence, the face of this region. Why he's been back and forth with GAM since 2017. When you hear the name,
because Fnatic 2-0'd them, and it wasn't close.
He continues to perform, and now names alongside him. Emo having a great game. Easy Love having a really good last couple of games as well. Kiaya, obviously, always in contention. Elio, a little bit quieter, but landing the hooks when it matters.
That one didn't matter. It didn't matter. So it's not important.
At the screen, I just looked up and I see him miss the hook.
No, you're right. Who cares if that lands? Nothing was going to happen.
Exactly. And now for Loud, how do you get back? You're forfeiting your jungle.
Yeah.
You're 11,000 gold behind.
So, I mean, game one, they had Ornn, Lee Sin, Sen, and Nautilus. That's a lot of engaged tools and really good scaling. They tried to run back parts of that team comp here in game 3 with the slow, methodical style, but they actually have really bad engage now.
Yeah.
Because the Tahm Kench and their
The only engage they have is the point and click from the Sejuani, and Croc has like not really. He's landed one on easy love this game.
But that also means he can't fly in to engage.
Yeah, no Zhonya's.
Because he just died. So where do they go from here? Home?
Maybe.
Yeah, airport speedrun. Mad lines energy.
I'd like to see Redbird buy one. I'd like to see Root start farming. You're at 87 stacks. Stacking is going to be hard from here on out, but you can still get some as a farming center.
You need money. The AD carry needs money.
You know, bolstering your damage a little bit, adding a little bit in. There's a TP ward behind Tinones and Croc here, all the way in the bush in that top lane. Levi might look for it. Emo's down in the bot lane pushing out. Levi instead just clearing out vision. Baron up in 2 minutes.
The hell's Levi buying?
Now spawning. Would only
Knight's
be the
Vow?
the game for Gam because of
I don't think Levi cares anymore. Zero buying Knight's Vow?
Even if they did lose out
Or he's buying Unending Despair
the
on
way
this
back in
set?
the games, they do stuff like this. You just kind of randomly wait in bushes.
I think it's just about keeping the Zeri alive, I think. I'll be 100% honest. Or you put that on the Akali or the TF and you have a dive buddy.
Or Emo down, that'll be 1,000 gold here. Maybe after that you kill a turret, 1,000 gold there. They kind of have to chip away at it because they still do have the Sejuani ultimate, and there's a lot of squishy people on Gam.
Yeah.
But if Gam just groups up, even though they don't have good front to back, like
no Sonya has a slate of the game. No one's building MI, so why are you building a Void
that they're going
Staff?
to win their front to back anyway.
I really don't think Void Staff is good for you.
So you catch him, he QSS's. Easy Love has his cleanse.
Yep.
Elio has Locket. Levi, like, if you're ulting him and trying to kill him off, he's gone for the Knight's Vow third, so he knows his job from here on
Dude,
out.
a single Q did like 20% of Robo's
And
HP.
now
What the
you're a
fuck?
facilitator, you're a kick.
It's like
So you can do a
15%.
little bit of damage alongside that. Emo has the Twilight
Yeah,
Trap.
farming center doesn't work when your entire team does
Missile
nothing.
Voyage forward, Levi dashes across the wall. Kiaya pushing in bot. No deep vision for Loud right now. All denied by Gam. After they saw Loud skip some steps in game 2, they are not doing the same.
Yeah, Loud grouped up here. If
I mean, it's 97 stacks, but
for some type of engage, they would want to
there's
just go.
so little
But
damage on the
actually,
side of.
Pretty smart play by Gam right there. Akali shows on the bottom wave. They back up.
Yep.
Right? Again, Akali showing on that bottom wave. Look at where Gam is. They're not in a spot where they can get engaged on. So now they're going to generate that push as soon as that wave crashes and Akali moves again. Then Gam can touch the mid wave. That's the classic macro that you actually want to see. The Gam wasn't in positions to play earlier because they never had a side laner who was actually stronger that they were willing to play around in an effective way. So
you see Loud having to respect it. They put the far side automation into that bush first in case the Akali's standing there. Then they step away. Their duo in mid has to take a step back so they catch the wave a little bit deeper. Emo can now move up. No one answering bot yet for Loud. That wave's just going to neutralize, and the Baron has been begun for Gam.
All right, Loud, be very cautious with the way they check. You'd love to fight them at this Baron because they're a little bit cornered. That's their chance.
Levi looks for the kick. The hook's going to land. Emo looking for the flank. They go on to Robo. Croc as well on that front line. Kiaya Destiny's onto the back route with a good Dawning Shadow, but Robo kick back, gets the Serac shield. Elio has to flash away. Emo dashing through as well as Kiaya is now separated on the back of their fight. Kiaya has the flash just in time to escape a bit of voyage forward by Redbird. Unable to get close enough. A good fight so far for Loud, as even though they're unable to kill Gam, they don't lose them now.
Oh man, you take that when you're down 10,000 gold and the other team starts Baron. All of them are recalling now. Does Loud would love to be able to flip this. Azir shreds Baron a little bit.
Yeah, just go.
No, you just flip it.
Yeah.
You just go.
No vision.
No Zeri ultimate as well, no Nautilus ultimate.
TP to the bottom side. Emo has the perfect execution. Kiaya looking for that gold card. No flash on him. Levi coming in from the side as well as Loud begin to back off. Emo dashes in. Emperor's Divide back as Robo still tanking the Baron. They look for Emo, but he's able to escape. Levi comes in for the re-engage. Zeri and Nautilus down towards the bottom side. We'll just get the push out through mid. So what do we get? A TP, a flash. from the side of Gam to stop the Baron from Loud.
Ah, that's tough. Emo goes in. I feel like if Loud just commits to finishing the Baron, they feel like they're going to get aced. I don't know if Gam actually had enough people in position to collapse properly.
There's the risk of Levi just Sonic Wave execution smiting the Baron as well, right?
Yes.
Unless you can CC him. Obviously, at this point, it's like, do we take the 2080 because every other player is a 1090, right?
Exactly. I think you do. I think you try and flip.
I mean, it's 106 stacks.
Just might not have been there either way.
But it's gonna be a while before 4 items, man. Literally down to like 2.5 items.
Not really a priority at this point now. I think it all becomes about the Ocean Soul. That's a less
okay.
Starts it. There's 4 items now on Kiaya, so he's just unstoppable in side lanes. He's so fast too, as we see.
So that's 3 crit items.
He loves at 4 items as well. 8,000 gold between the AD carries, and I know I always say compare the support in the AD carry. Well, Redbird's only 1.8k ahead, so in essence, it's only a single.
They keep teasing around Baron.
Real second source of damage here for Loud. He's only got an item.
Loud
will be struggling. Robo doing a good job of being a facilitator in terms of damage himself as the collapse begins. Robo looking for the flank as well. Sundisc goes down. Emo in the Twilight Shroud. Croc, Glacial Prison just short of Levi there.
Okay, Sejalt down, Tom Kenshi down. Almost everything up still for Gam outside of TF ultimate and a Kali ultimate. But I think the Zeri ultimate is the most important one.
Yeah.
As Gam just re-pushes this mid lane and then tries to move. This is where actually them not having like a true front line is really hurting them.
Yeah.
As you see in
no
these
one
fights.
Can step up to just tank it a little bit.
Yeah, even the Azir turret was a pretty big threat for them as they were going in here. And they're actually kind of losing the mid prio here.
Yeah, the range is not the best if TF isn't there to, red card with the rapid fire cannon onto a minion. The Zeri relatively short range. Senna and Azir will outrange her in these fights. Kiaya now joins up. Drake has spawned, would be sold for Gam if they want it. 12,000 gold their lead now as they set up for what could be the final play. The final drop off the Abyss into a team fight. The Baron probably on their minds with the hook just short by Elio. They turn their eyes towards the Baron. No vision on either side for Loud. They have that single control ward. Levi spotted now, though, as he puts control ward in the bush. Croc dashes away, stunned up. There's the dredge line for the follow-up, and Croc is sent passing. Robo now in the middle of the team. It's just deleted. It's a double already for Easy Love, and he's looking to make it more. Gam, although they failed at the first hurdle, have now bounced back. They've jumped up. And Loud cannot do anything about it. 14,000 gold ahead. Gamma looking for Soul and for the Baron.
And to move on past Loud and get a rematch against Fnatic. So, just, again, like, we did not expect this.
Nope.
I think Gam might have expected this. They're always so... they play with such confidence when they're on. And that's the weird thing, because when we saw this team play against, I'd say, Fnatic, and when we saw them play in game 1, it just didn't look the same. You're like, this is actually too much for them to overcome. There's no way that Levi and Kiaya can sync with these players so quickly to be able to win on the international stage, yet we're seeing it. Like, they're going in as a unit. This is not, like, the cleanest game. Let's be completely honest. But it is an impressive win nonetheless, if they're able to close this one out. 16,000 gold now, Baron Soul. Let's see if they can finish it.
Especially seeing how disjointed they were against Fnatic, even in game 1 against Loud, how much they struggled to have these effective team fights. Now, Baron on them for the next 2.5 minutes. They have the Ocean Soul already. Looks like Emo's going to push out bot. Kiaya currently catching the top wave. Does have that Destiny. Remember, not the same range as a teleport, although it can seem like a global. It does have a radius on it, but should be able to get across the map to answer at least in mid, as he is already level 18, so has that fully upgraded to level 3.
Crazy.
Currently, though, stepping back. Doesn't see where Loud are on the map. Doesn't need to push the wave. He's got enough gold. Just like, okay, Loud could be here. I will just take a step back until I see Loud answering, and then I'll step up. And that's when you see a team that's more coordinated, a team that's more aware of who they're playing into, that isn't skipping those steps.
I will say personally, I hate 1-3-1. I think you should always 4-1. I think it spreads you out too much as a small risk. Like if Loud can commit to one side now, they know they're going to have a meaningful number advantage, because I think they actually lose 5v4s at this point. So the 4-1 is like almost no risk for them, but they're set up in this 1-3-1. So Loud, you have to pick a spot and you just go fast. Which they're trying. They're trying to get. Easy Love has no cleanse.
Easy Love, no cleanse. Jumps across the wall with the flash, now trying to escape, but he's still got the GA. Elio with the hook, and on the backline, the Devour still coming out. GA's going to come out from Easy Hoon as Tino's tries to separate the team. Emo jumping in, but Easy Love comes back from the dead, and his Guardian Angel sitting on his shoulder to give him a double kill. Emo will fall as he tries to chase off Tinones, but what can Loud do to defend? Because GAM are marching to victory.
That was a 20,000 gold
Guardian
lead.
Angel comes in clutch for Easy Love there. 10-0-3. They're gonna do it. They're gonna take down Loud.
Rover's looking for the wave. He escapes with a sliver of HP, but Levi will not let him. In with the Tempest, crippling Loud. Easy Love trying to survive as Tino takes him out. The stopwatch just in time, but he can't escape the oncoming hordes of GAM. The Nexus Tower's the target, root up in 5, but are we alive just to stand and watch as his Nexus is raised to the ground?
Jesus.
GAM go through to the next round.
Wow. What a shocking development.
I wasn't completely sure
Like,
that they were going to be able to pull it off.
from the game 1, you know, like, Loud looked so clean game 1. And then game 2, they tunneled on a shit comp. And game 3, they just ran back the same shit comp, but had even worse engage. It's like, oh, my head hurts. My head hurts after seeing such a bad draft. But hey, I'm glad tilters like that ain't showing up. I don't know if GAM's gonna carry the momentum to beat Fnatic, because like they got too old by Fnatic, and it wasn't even close. Like it was, bro. It was like Mad Lions energy. But hopefully you guys enjoyed my perspective with my commentary and stuff. But like, hot damn. I'd be ashamed if I was a CB LOL fan, because like, yo, those were some of the cleanest throws I've seen in years. But see y'all tomorrow for the epic games.